that's so much fun. I enjoy doing that. Well, guys, how are we doing today? How is everybody? It's been. Wait, well, no, it's not been a good minute because I was here last week. That's right. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole schedule thing. It's kind of nice. But it has been a minute since we've got to do a forum. And actually, on that note, gonna be a little bit late on getting Magic in. He's doing some stuff. But from what I know, he's supposed to be here a little late. I don't know. But either way, it's still gonna be fun because guess what? We got this guy. He's super cool. So welcome to the stage, Mr. Tom Franklin.
Relax. Come and party. Relax. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm all right, man. Taking a little bit of time with the family today. You seen I threw a picture up. I was at the beach. And then, yeah, man. So just spending some family time. Tomorrow I'm going to grab my daughter and spend a couple days with her. And yeah, you know how it goes.
Oh yeah, man. I've just been out busy in the yard taking down all the stuff I had out for the chicken coop since I ain't got no chickens yet, and I haven't had time to build the new chick in or / quack shack that I'm gonna build. So, gotta take all that stuff down and get it all bush hogged and put up a storm door. You know, fun stuff outside. And
what the hell's a quack shack?
So it's if I decide to get ducks instead of chickens because I like ducks so much more. If I build a coop,
I would
cute. Name it the Quack Shack.
They are cute.
Yeah.
You can't be angry at a duck.
No.
And they most likely did not need the ark. Sorry, I don't mean to pick on you. Because they could just swim around.
Well, yes, that's the thing is when I do have time, I'm actually going to set it up right there next to the pond. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got a pond?
Water. Yeah, I got a pond.
You got it like that, huh? Can you swim in the pond?
I mean, if you wanted to, you could.
Okay. All right.
It's good size. I mean, I don't know how big it is, but it's plenty big. I fish in it. So
natural pond.
Yeah, it's spring fed.
Okay. Shit, there you go. You got it nice over there. All right. I like that. That sounds like a lot of work. I've been kind of busy working on the house, putting in a door frame and then all metal, putting it in the walls, and I just put the door in, and now I got to put a little window on the door, all metal, all welded in, put some hinges on it. I got to do that this week coming up. And then I got to put in a new power post to put the meter on to get, instead of 110 at the house, I got to put 220 in and run it in and put in the, what they call that, the fuse box and all that crap. So I got a lot ahead of me.
Everything going to be 220 in there?
Yeah, I'm going to run it on 220. It's better. We get an air conditioning system in there, and it's a little bit more economically feasible. The prices are the same, but when you for the electricity bill, it's cheaper that way.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, less impedance, right? Because higher voltage, yada yada.
Yeah. So I got a lot to do. I got a ton to do. There's no whenever the military kicks itself into gear and helps me out here, I'm still waiting on that. Then I got to go build my house.
There you go.
Yeah, I got a lot to do. I'm also trying to I'm putting in, my ex-wife's helping me out, put in for Mexican citizenship. And then I'll have dual citizenship. I just got to take the entire test in Spanish, which I'm almost there. But if I can get the study material beforehand and I can sit down and just kind of practice it. And I think it's like 10 questions or 20 questions about, the Mexican, the states and, their history and stuff, which I know a little bit about because I'm kind of a history and like geography buff guy. So that's not going to be too hard. It's going to be more of a language based thing. And then once that happens, hopefully then the land that me and my ex-wife bought, she was like, yeah, we'll just split it in half. You can have your what is it? Your 5 acres. I'll have my 5 acres. And then I'll get to town and get busy. I got to get a surveyor out there, which is a whole thing in Mexico. It's a lot of work. And get that all done. Yeah, at least I know somebody now. So that's cool. Yeah. And then just, life just moves on. And if that kicks in, I'll have a little bit more time with my little girl. Get a vehicle for myself so I can actually do some work out there without something breaking down every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
just working.
On that note, like speaking of like the whole test stuff, do you know the whole legend of how Mexico was established? Like this is the land of Mexico. Do you know that story?
I think it was the island. Are you talking about the island in the middle of the country there with the snake on the cactus
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole snake snake being eaten on a cactus by an eagle.
It's pretty badass, dude. If you got like an eagle holding a snake on the cactus eating it, dude, and that shows you like down here, dude, people. I mean, you have to think about Mesoamerica, and then the Aztecs and the Mayans, and all the Mesoamerican earlier peoples. There's a lot of war, and then you have the conquistadors and all that. So this country, that's what it is. And now you have the whole cartel situation and all that going on. So I mean, they're not like unknowledgeable when it comes to violence. So why wouldn't you have a cactus with a snake and an eagle eating it? You know what I mean? It's kind of gangster, if you ask me.
Yeah. And plus, there's the whole eagle versus serpent, lore that goes back thousands of years and all that. So, yeah, it's interesting.
If
You
take that off of there, then it's the Italian flag. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. It's kind of a weird city. I've never been there, and I don't plan on going. I'm not a big city guy, not a big city goer. I've lived in big cities pretty much my whole life, except for the last couple of years.
Right. Sorry.
Sorry, I had to get a little wiggle in there as I was calling. And they don't have really much because it's like an earthquake zone. So they don't have many high-rise buildings because it's basically like a lake. So like they'll have liquefaction. It's pretty high, dude. You might want to turn that down.
Still at 9.
Sorry, bro.
It's okay, bro.
It's all right. Maybe it's just the way the wires are coming in. So what are we talking about today, Jimmy?
All right. So basically what we want to go over. Sorry to bore everybody with
Mexican history
and all the squirrels that we chased about our day. We got to get better at that. Anyways, so yeah, recent events, right? So there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on of late and like such, I don't know, short succession. It seems like I don't know, like the past 2 months have been kind of crazy, don't you think?
I think it's been crazy since 2014. In my opinion, it's all ramped up since then. Oddly enough. Yeah. I mean, just to be honest with you, I mean, like, you can just go back. I mean, you have just all the events that happened. You had I mean, Epstein and Vegas and the COVID and the elections and all that. There was a lot of things that has been happening. It's been this way for quite a while.
That reminds me, that was the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Before I do that, I'm just going to say this because F you, Facebook. I've got a 10% discount on my online store right now. So I posted that on my group, and Facebook's like, we removed that because we can't be doing spam like that. I'm like, I am he who fishes for spam. Don't tell me what I can do and not on my page.
Do you have the links in the description below so people can go down there and take advantage of that 10% off?
Not even for the show, but for the channel, yes.
Well, you've got to put that in your, in your settings in the YouTube there, dude.
Hey, Pam's got this. I'm confident. Pam's got this. But you know what? Yeah, so 10% up until May 10th. So if you guys want to get some of y'all's Fisher of Spam drip, it's there. 10% discount.
So you can also go to my channel as well, guys. And I made a couple new shirts and a couple new posters to go with that. I don't have any discounts at the moment. I actually had to go in. Are you going through Printify too?
Yeah.
I went through Printify. I sold, I think Austin bought a shirt, and I think Sin bought a shirt. Shout out to both of them. Sin Shredder Hill and was a Elk Valley Paranormal. And also Austin Lawrence, the Dead Chronicles. So they bought a couple shirts, helped me out and supported me. And freaking Printify didn't pay me. So I contacted them and I go, hey, I sold these shirts. What happened? They actually finally paid me I think it was $10
Yeah.
for 2 shirts. I made $10. So I don't make much out of it, guys. Mostly goes to the company that prints them and sends
Oh yeah,
them.
we
And
make
so,
very little off of that stuff. So, but you know what? Since we're speaking about merch, real quick, look at Jeanette's stuff.
oh, thank you, Jen. Mine hasn't come yet, guys. I'm sorry about that. I told you it's gonna be. What's up, Mike? It's going to
What's
be
up?
it's going to be one of those things where if it comes and when it comes, I'll be very happy, and I will definitely go out and support Jeanette and what she's doing. Pam, if you can grab that for us real quick. Jeanette, she goes and makes cups, personalized shakers, whatever they're called, the tumblers.
Mm-hmm.
She personalizes them, sends them to your house, and the proceeds of that goes to the Hurricane Helena victims in Western North Carolina. So please do us a favor and go ahead and support that.
Yes, please go do that. So, anyways, yeah. But you know what? Before we get into like the main focus of stuff, you just brought up something a second ago that like sparked my neurons in the brain, and I was just like, squirrel.
Hey.
All right, so we talked about
Mike
Epstein
too.
there.
Mike too, not just
Jeanette,
Mike. But sorry,
Mike
Mike.
here too. Okay, Mystic Mountain Creations. Go out there and get you one of these awesome tumblers. Anyways, so Epstein list. That main chick that is
oh yeah,
that was implicating her Epstein and Prince whatever his name is.
Yeah, the guy in England there.
Yeah, the English guy. Yeah, she committed a sewer slide.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of a sad thing either way, whether it's intentional or unintentional. And welcome to the world we live in. The truth won't come out. Like Jim's go ahead and trying to promote his channel by say, hey guys, go grab a shirt for 10% off. And like, no, you can't do that. That's just a small portion of what's really going on, which is like, I know Jim is free speech, and that is my thing. That's why we got to say things like sewer slide.
Exactly.
Because you can't say it because people get it bugs me to no end. And it's unfortunate, and our love goes out to her family, and let's try our best, guys. I don't know how we do it to like bring these people involved in doing such things to justice somehow. I hope.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. We get a new king over there across the pond, and all of a sudden this happens. Weird. Probably
I'm sure it's just coincidental.
Yeah. There's nothing to see here. Move along. These are not the droids you're looking for. Move along. Okay.
Who are you in that video? Are you Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
And it makes me C-3PO. Okay, fair enough.
Aw, that makes Magic R2-D2.
You could also be Luke Skywalker, you butthead. I think there was 4 of them.
To be fair, I don't know. Let's ask him if he's ever kissed his sister. Then we'll see. We can decide on that.
Hey, and Pam is then Princess Leia.
Oh, no. Cool.
Fair enough. We got some Danishes we can glue to your head. Oh, there we go.
Some space Cinnabons.
That's
it's
a pretty wild, man. I just seen that on my feed the other day because I don't get any news from any regular news outlet now. I mean, they all have a slant on them. I don't care if you're with Fox or MSNBC or whatever you want to call them. They all kind of have their spin and their take. And the thing is the best you can do with those is kind of look at both of them, because you can sit there being like a right of center conservative as myself, and sit there and go, that that's interesting, and then go over and watch MSNBC, and I swear within 10 minutes you're going like, yeah, I mean, like, what are they talking about sending this MS-13 guy back? What is going on?
Yeah. So, meanwhile, illegal aliens don't have rights because
it's what isn't it Article 8 under the?
Sorry.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or claim to be Matlock or anything like that. There's a good reference.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I don't know. It's just weird, I mean, the mainstream media is just constantly trying to manufacture reality, and
Yeah,
I don't know. That's like
dude, my
they haven't really
Facebook
had.
feed is crazy, dude. Like one day you'll have like all this, more right wing stuff. Do you
Mhm.
support Trump and do you think this and what's your opinion? And the next day, vaccines or this is the reason. We had polio vaccines, and they'll show like all the iron
Mhm.
lungs lined up. And I wanted to write, yeah, well, if you want to look into, you know, looking into like sanitation and stuff. I don't know. I don't point out anything like that because I don't know anything, guys. You know that I don't know anything.
Yeah, yeah. I,
You know,
I
because
just take electricity and melt metal and stick it together. What do I know?
right. I mean, who knows? Jonas Salk came out with the vaccine, I think, in 1953, if I'm not mistaken. But if you look at the actual numbers before that, they were down quite significantly.
Mm,
But what do I know? But what do I know?
right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, guys.
Yeah. Who knows? But
Now,
either
if you want to
way,
go, this is my shit. This is my stuff. I have it.
right.
I'm going to get some guys on. We're going to go into conspiracies, and we have to tiptoe around that. Thank you so much, YouTube and Facebook and all that. But
Mhm.
that's my thing. That's my thing, guys. I really dislike the puppetry that's going on. The weird
Mhm.
thing is when you realize that you have been on that treadmill, because we've all been on it. I'm not above it at all. And Jim, I know you're not either. We've all,
Right.
to some degree, have been tricked by the masses to feel and think a certain way. If you just look
Mhm.
at just the Rockefeller school system and how we're like, get up. Can I go to the bathroom? Is you're not a human. You can't just go up and go to the bathroom because
Right.
you're disruptive to the classroom just to put you
Right.
on that treadmill of being, some type of like indentured servant. I don't
Mhm.
know anything about that either, guys. But
Right.
we've all been that way. And when you step outside and you realize you've been part of that, you've been a marionette yourself, you've been a puppet yourself.
Right.
It's kind of disheartening at first, but then you just kind of go. But the cool thing is that it does hurt. The truth does hurt at first,
Mhm.
but but there's a party. The part of you didn't know was like there's true evil. And this is how I came to God for me, knowing that there's a true evil. It ain't all just power and land grab and money in the end because they have more money than they could ever have.
Mhm.
So then
Yeah.
that's something else. You're like, what can
Oh
that
yeah.
possibly be?
Control. You
Yeah,
know. I mean,
let's
it's like
destroy the
this.
nuclear family, and
Yeah.
it goes from there. Yeah,
In the school system, like you were pointing out, it's just set up to make you a good little worker. When was the last time in high school that you can think of that they actually taught you how to be your own boss, how to be an entrepreneur and make
how to do
yourself a
hmm,
small business,
how
What?
to do your taxes or set up an LLC. How to
Yeah.
never.
Yeah, no, just be good little subservient little sheep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
And a lot of people just don't care, dude. They're just like, I just want my Cheerios. I mean, whatever. It might be Fruity Pebbles for you, which is one of my favorite cereals of all time.
Mm,
it used to be. It used to be what's that? Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then I came back and tried it again, and I realized, dude, I'm a Fruity Pebbles guy. But yeah, they just want you to go work, spend the majority Spanish el mayoridad, the majority of your day, busting your hump just to make sure that you can pay your bills, and then they come back and they want you to sit in front of a tube, in front of a TV, and
mm,
just be brainwashed because that's all we can do. They take all your productive hours and make you do something that, for the most part, you don't want to do, or
mhm,
you want to, like I enjoy welding too. I'm just like you. I'm a certified
mhm.
welder. I'm very sure you're better than I am at it. Plus, my eyes are going. So I'm very sure, Jim. I mean, you do I don't know what you get paid, but
I'm humble,
I've
man.
heard what you work for, but you're a great welder, and I haven't seen any of your work, but I'm sure it's good. And we enjoy that because I do enjoy it. There's something really magical about like sitting
Yeah,
behind a window and melting two pieces of metal together and now making it more powerful than the metal itself if you do it
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a cool thing. But
I like
to
to
do
create.
that,
It is fun.
yeah, dude, me too. But to do that and then, just do that every day, all day for 5 to 6 days a week, and then just to have a little bit of time to yourself
Mm,
to be an actual human, it's
mhm.
very draining on the soul.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One of these days, I will follow the advice that was given to me and my adopted brother. We nicknamed him the drunken prophet, and it was funny because we were at like a local bar one weekend, hanging out, and this guy came up to us. It was so weird, man. He was just sloppy drunk. I mean, stumbling, and he just like come down to the table. Was like, "What's up, guys?"
I don't remember being in Alabama.
Yeah, you haven't met my adopted brother, but it was funny. He was like, "What's up, guys? What are y'all doing?" We're like, hanging out, man. What are you doing?" You know, he's like,
Good
"Dude, I
question.
just got off my jet." I'm like, "Oh, where'd you come from?" He's
He
like,
meant
"I
his
was at
jet
the
ski.
Yeah, I was like, "I was at the Alabama game." I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, you made good time." He's like, "Yeah, man. What do you guys do for a living?" "I'm a business owner." I'm like, "Oh, I'm a welder." My brother's like, "Sales." And he's like, "Let me ask you a question. Do you work for yourself or for somebody?" I'm like, we're both like, "Somebody?" He's like, "That means you're a fool. If you have a marketable trade and you don't work for yourself, you're a fool. This is my jet." And I was just like,
He's not wrong. Other than
"Okay."
the egoistic, like flexing of showing his biceps and triceps and his probably receding hairline. There's
Yeah,
really, yeah. I'm just guessing. You're like painting the
spot
description.
on.
I'm just coloring it in a little bit more.
No, you got it. You
He's
nailed
not
it.
wrong, dude. He's not
Yeah.
wrong. He
Oh,
really
no, he's
isn't.
not.
But this is kind of what I want to do. I'm sure this
Yeah.
is something you want to do too. This is what I want to do. You want to spread the information through your worldview, which is fucking awesome. And I want to spread it through my worldview, which I hope people enjoy as well. And if I can supplement my income in a way in which I really enjoy and like help people, maybe, hopefully, because I think we do actually help people, you know, it's
I
been
hope so.
it's been that a lot for me. I mean, there's been people, like Darren Franks and Harley Owens. Harley Owens, like before he became this great, like researcher that we all know and love that you actually went out with.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
contacted me a long time ago, like a year and a half ago, and he was just like, I haven't been out in the woods in 3 years, dude, ever since this.
Mhm.
And I hope through, at least partially me or people, who do what I do or do
Yeah.
what you do, that he's able to like actually follow his new passion. And it kind of, he got chosen by the universe or God, however you want to, put that in
Sure.
there.
Sure.
And we're helping people to do what they want to do. And we're helping ourselves because this is what we want to do. We want to help people follow their passions in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what you're saying. I'm
Yeah,
picking up
dude.
what you're putting
I'm
down.
picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, dude. Was it you who started that? Because I started using that a lot. That
I
terminology. I'm thinking of.
definitely do say it a lot, but I don't know that I started it.
I don't think you started it, but I don't know if I heard it from you or somebody else. But I remember starting to use it. You guys are amazing. Daniel as well. Yeah, Daniel's the shiznit. It's
Yeah,
just
and if you're watching us while you're driving in the car, Magic, hurry up!
he's doing family stuff, man. We always say that family's important. We know how family, especially nowadays and what's going on in the world, dude. Family is important.
Fine, you get an extra 5 minutes.
you
Twist my ear, why don't you?
could be so warm
Anyway.
and yet so cold. You're just like a melting ice cream.
Yeah, yeah. And my favorite flavor is pistachio, so melting pistachio ice cream.
Really?
Just a green blob.
Pistachio.
Yeah, it's awesome. You don't like pistachio?
That's all right.
What do you like, vanilla?
Yeah, I dig vanilla. I like butterscotch, stuff like that.
Gross.
Dude, butterscotch candies, the ones that are like soft, like the candies themselves, where they're like a little soft on the outside because they've been sitting in your grandmother's purse, and then you go ahead and eat those jokers. Like Werther's Originals, dude. Come on.
I agree.
And then the popcorn, the Werther's Original popcorn, it's fucking incredible.
Not big on the popcorn, brother. Not big on the popcorn.
It makes your fucking teeth. Ash's Antics, what's up?
What's
How's
up,
it going?
Ash?
Welcome to the show.
Good to see you, buddy.
And by the way, if you guys have any questions of us, go ahead. I mean, Jim, I'm sure you're open to this, but I want to make sure. But if you have questions about anything that I do or say, you go ahead and ask us too.
Oh yeah, feel free because we're
swimming.
We're doing our best to get on topic, like finding a segue, but yet wanting to.
I did pretty good for a second there. I had a nice one, but then I went off key again.
I like squirrels. Yeah.
So, but the whole topic of things being crazy, I think it's intentional.
Oh, I think so too. I think so too.
It's intentional, guys.
Yeah.
The feed isn't crazy. It's crazy. I'll go on it right now and show. I just want to go and see what's on there right now. Seriously, if you go on these, I'll go on it right now and just see what my feed is. Okay. Bigfoot. Hey, go ahead and shout out to Bigfoot believers and what's the rest of that? What's Bigfoot believers and other creatures? So yeah, go and check those out, guys. Out. Okay, here's to get my 1,000 subs. Magical Journey show coming up by Ford. Jenny Atkins, thank you so much for promoting the show. George Lunsford, a guitar, because I'm still looking. If I could pass all my friends. Bill Rigby. Okay, here we go. For example, there's a picture of RFK throwing Skittles down that woman's mouth who yelled during the first time that Trump got So it's like, yeah. So there's the first one. Here's one. Trust the science. Questioning science is how you do science. And someone's getting slapped. And I think it's Mike Pence getting slapped by somebody, and it's all in cartoon form. We're not here to promote violence. I'm just reading from Facebook.
Yeah, it's allegedly for entertainment purposes only.
It's for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Oh, then we have some, abortion stuff, and we'll force them to use solar power, and then we'll block out the sun, and there's people, lizard people drinking from cups. You know what I mean? Like the craziness that is on my feed is to make you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And here's the thing, guys. It's okay with being uncomfortable, but do not let it become your reality. You have to go to the core of yourself, the connection with you and God, dude. That is important, guys. Go back to that, circle back into yourself, and realize that's what it is. It's all a show. It's smoke and mirrors, dude. Don't let them get you. They can never have. They might have my eyes for a second, but they'll never have my heart or my mind, dude. It ain't happening.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? Speaking of circle back, and what was her name? Oh, chick that was kind of cute but looked like a redheaded version of the guy that owns Facebook. What was her name?
Laura Croft?
No. Whatever. Anyways, speaking of circling back, I saw the most hilarious meme, and this will get us on topic, all right?
Okay.
So it was it was a picture of Joe Biden dressed up as the Pope. And it said that he won by a surprising amount of mail-in vote ballots. So he's the no Pope.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, but we can neither confirm or deny that I don't think it was rigged, guys. Do you guys? I don't. I really don't. I don't think it was rigged at all.
I didn't even know he was in the running for Pope.
I didn't know that either, but he would be right along the lines of John Paul II.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, wait. Were you talking about 2020?
Yeah, I was talking about 2020.
Oh, I believe in the official narrative.
Yes. Narratives produced by my government is exactly my modus operatus. That's what I do. Yeah.
So speaking of that, though, speaking of Pope, so did you hear the Pope died?
Yes, I did, man. Of course I did. My lady, my love, my Sarah. Yeah. She's a devout Catholic. And I asked her about it, and I sent my condolences, and you did, of course, and Pam did, and I told her that our little family here, that we all that we're thinking about you. And she's like, and I go, so how you taking it? How you feeling? And she's like, yeah, it sucks. He was old. He was better than Ratzinger. Ratzinger, the guy before. Ratzinger.
I'm not Catholic, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but there was Pope John Paul II, who was there forever, and then there was Ratzinger, who was the one that looked like he had some really dark stuff too, and they kind of pushed him out of there. He got, because normally a pope is there until he passes, and then they kind of got him out and put the new one in. I can't remember his particular name, so but I know who he is. And I asked her about it, and she's like, it's not cool and all that, but at the same time, it's a new chapter in the church. And you brought up something very interesting about that.
Yes, and the whole thing of, it's all over the place. It's the whole prophecy by Saint, whatever his name was, in I don't remember what year that was. Let's just say 1000, year 1000,
That's good.
right?
Yeah.
And he predicts like the whole line of popes up until the second coming of Christ, right? And so, if the way people speculate and look at this, technically the next pope, according to the prophecy that dude made, is supposed to be Peter the Roman. And
Okay, give me a little backstory on Peter Roman, if you know,
okay,
because I don't.
I don't know a whole lot. I mean, generally speaking, what I know about the prophecy
Hi, Tim.
legend is, huh? Oh,
Sorry,
hey, what up,
Tim's here.
Ohio?
Hey, Tim. What the hell's his last
Yes, I concur, good sir.
name?
But essentially, like Peter the Roman is the guy that comes to power, and he's gonna preside over lots of turmoil, and try to be doing his best to help people out. And then Rome is destroyed, and then Christ comes back.
Okay.
And I believe that date, according to them, is like 2027 or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with the Mayans too, though, dude. You know what I mean? So I don't know where that fall, but this is go check out Tim, man. Check out Tim. Tim's a great guy,
For
and
sure.
his wife Renee, great guys, great people doing great research in Salt Fork State Fart. Go over and check out his channel and give him a like and subscribe over there and follow his channel.
Mhm.
There was that too, but that happened what 2012. I think that was 2012. The
The Mayan
prophecy,
calendar
the
thing?
Mayan calendar thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But who's to say that didn't happen, dude?
Well, I mean, that's a very good point. Who's to say
Like
it didn't?
to tag it to the 14, I said, it could have been 2012, and I just didn't notice it in 2000 until 2014.
Hmm.
And like maybe there was the destruction of the planet. Now we're living in a parallel universe in which people like Mr. the wonderful Joe Biden could be president.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Maybe it was CERN that killed us all in 2012. I don't know.
Maybe or unlifed us. We don't know.
Ah, crap. Yeah. I'm so bad about that.
I know, isn't it weird? They call the human language. They can't. You know what I mean? We're close to being England, guys, where you can't say, I don't know about all this mass import of other peoples into the country, and they come and grab you and lock your ass up. How far are we away from that? We were close. We were very close.
Yeah. Judging by the amount of judges getting arrested for trying to help gang members at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been following that so much. I try because I am here in Mexico, guys, and I was on a job site, and then someone was like, Trump's a racist. I was like,
okay.
I was just like, yeah, dude, because what am I going to do? Fight 15 Mexican guys with shovels? That's what I'm going to do. So I was just kind of like, do you know that for sure? Because as far as I know, he's a big advocate of like those black colleges. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Where like every year they had to go to Washington to secure funds to support underprivileged black people who were trying to get into college, and then Trump said, "Nah, you guys ain't got to come back for 10 years." That's what a racist guy does.
Then get on.
We have an update. I kind of want that little dark hole there with my own personality. Sorry.
But you know what? But while we're still like kind of on that thread,
yeah,
this is a great point. The time that we know is not the year they say it is, because technically there was, I can't remember if it was a pope or a king or something like that. They wanted to add some kind of like validity to his years, or like when he came into power or whatever. So they like maybe allegedly changed the timeline, and we're actually like 200 to 400 years further in the future than what time actually is.
Whoa, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, and I do not have enough information to bring that to the fore. But I'll just mention it and just be like, "Hey, y'all, go look at it and tell me if I'm crazy." I mean,
well, it's important too, and we always tell people like, don't listen, don't take anything as I'm a moron. I'm not gonna speak for Jim because I don't think Jim would like that very much, but I'm an idiot, dude. Like, just go. There's a lot of things like I say stuff, and I can only remember bits and pieces of the things I hear. It's too much to keep up with too. Remember that hamster wheel we were talking about?
Oh,
that's what they want you to do. Like they keep you on the next thing, climate change, watch your carbon footprint, bird flu. It's just a constant fear. They want to keep you within the five senses and keep you in your your amygdala, your whatever, the reptilian brain. I don't know if you subscribe to that.
Oh yeah, the lizard brain thing. Yeah.
Well, there's the three parts of the brain, or
wait, I know this answer. It's from Waterboy. Medulla oblongata.
The medulla oblongata.
No, Mama said alligators.
No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong, Colonel Sanders. You kind of do look like a young Colonel Sanders. Hey, the chat, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me don't look like Jim has a secret recipe for chicken somewhere. He turns off the camera.
Because I'm wearing a top hat.
Was he wearing a top hat?
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, I'm a fancy can of spam.
What was he wearing? No, he had he had a bow tie.
That's fair.
That's fair. Sneak up, whisper in his ear, and tickle that like button. Okay, that's a weird way of saying. Okay, but Jim, what's going on? You going to the bathroom or something?
Romans changed it. Huh? Oh, yeah. I forgot. I saw a squirrel.
So no one's going to back me up on the Colonel Sanders thing? Okay, you know what? I made a boo-boo. Sorry about that.
It's okay. My wife has called me worse. So it's fine. But yeah, man. So it's interesting because, prophecy in and of itself is one of those things, like I obviously put stock in it because I'm a Christian. Like, when it's in the Bible, which is the word of God, I'll put weight in that. But like somebody in and of themselves, Granted, I just had a story earlier about the drunken prophet telling me to go work for myself, and I took that serious. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's one of those things like, the Mayan calendar thing was also a prophecy, and granted, am I gonna take the advice of folks out there cutting the hearts out of millions of people on a pyramid and doing crazy?
You are good at this.
Rituals,
you are really good at what you're doing, dude. The pyramid. I love that.
Come on, man. Don't give it away.
I just fucking tore down that fourth wall and peeked behind the curtain and seen the little guy and fucking at the Emerald City. I just seen that. Yeah, dude. Prophecy. What do I feel about it? I mean, you have Heaven's Gate. You have Heaven's Gate, and then you have Jim Jones and all those things. I not being a Christian, prophecy is always gets pushed and bumped down the road. For me on a lot of things, and you can look at dates and times and change a lot of things.
Right.
It also comes back to, I guess, a little bit more of an Eastern mysticism. Mysticism is like being happy is not living in the past or the future, is living in the present, living in the moment. Which I'm sure there's some type of reference to that in the Bible as well, like living God's grace in the moment kind of thing. I'm sure that's in there somewhere. And I think to look at prophecies and things like that and hold them to any regards, I think it's a bit foolish. I'm not saying don't look at it. I'm not saying don't think about it, but at the same time, don't let it like inform your reality. And if you're going to go to if you want to go to the grocery store and buy dinner for your family, just go ahead. You're going to be fine.
Right. And that's like going back to what I'm saying. Like if it's prophecy in the Bible, gotcha. I'm here for it. If you're not, then I'm not going to put a whole lot of weight into what you say unless I really, really like it. That's generally like the way that I look at it, and even like as far as, speaking biblically, like eschatology, right? That's the study of the end time type stuff and trying to like build a roadmap to that and figure it out. Like, it's important to know and understand it, but for me, like I don't really live my life by it because I was given a mission, it's go
Right.
out to the world and preach, That stuff's great to know, but does it affect the good news? No. Hey guys, there's good news. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to sweat that. When that happens, it happens. It's not in my power to control. So I'm not going to let it like affect my life. I'm going to do what I was told to do. That's
Okay.
just
Yeah. How did you receive that message?
come again. Wait, this way. Oh no, he disappeared. Oh no, I'm by myself. Oh. Well, anyways, you guys want to hear something juicy about Tom since he's not here to defend himself? He's a pretty cool dude. Dum dum dum. Yeah. That's all I got. I don't know. I was unprepared to be by myself. Well, okay. Well, hold on. I know what to do. Yeah. Alright, let's turn that back down. Too much. There we go. Anywho, so yeah. Whenever either of them two get on here. What? Wait, hold on. Well, welcome to the stage, Daniel.
Hey, so did you get left behind again?
I mean, kinda. Tom disappeared. He froze. I tried to poke him, and before I could poke his screen, he disappeared.
That could be a problem. Why
Maybe.
is the sound muted all of a sudden? What's going on?
I can hear you just fine.
Well, I mean, I can hear me, but like
Can you hear me?
somewhat. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. Are we there? Maybe I'm there, but are you there? Say something, Jim.
Something, Jim.
Okay, close enough. So we were discussing what? What were you discussing?
We were talking about prophecy and the whole Pope thing, but we were
Oh yeah,
kind
the
of
Pope's dead.
transitioning towards pyramidal talk, even though Tom kind of gave it away.
Well, the Pope was kind of old as a pyramid, so that kind of blends in.
Oh, burn!
Sorry, I don't really mean to be
Oh, no, I'm here for
disrespectful, but I mean, you know, when somebody is as unhealthy as he's been for so long and everything, like, I think we have to, like, there has to be a point where we have to show compassion for the fact that he was able to pass into, peacefulness, because the man was like ill forever.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, some of them have gone hard. Some of them have gone really hard. Like, and I feel like
Yeah.
he was one of them. It's like, dude, like, you can't get much sicker than you are. Well, let go, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, you know what's
So,
interesting is, did you see any of like the pictures of him, like while he was dead in the casket thing?
I did not.
He had bruises all over the side of his face.
Well, depending on what was going on, that's possible. I mean, because some things will cause you, like medications will cause you to bruise easily. A lot of things will cause you to bruise easily.
All over
Like
the
I said,
side of your head? I mean, like, what
did
do
he
you do?
have a seizure before he passed? I mean, we don't know.
I don't know.
I just find it very interesting that a certain vice president from a certain country was one of the last people to see him alive. That's all I'm going to say about that. But hey, it did cross my mind. Dun, dun, dun. So honestly,
That blew my mind.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Very nice.
Oh, here's the thing. Like, when you get, because I mean, there's a lot of controversy about we had one instance where there was a pope that one pope passed, another one got elected into position, and then like days later he died, and then they were having it was crazy. There was like boom, boom, boom. So he
Yeah.
literally didn't. He literally didn't even have time to like do a mass before he was gone.
Hmm.
So
Neat.
it's very interesting. I will
Yeah.
say this before we go into anything else. I found it very interesting. This pope changed a lot of things. So there was a very interesting moment where one of the nuns that went to pay her respects went and stood in an area that's reserved for cardinals and so forth. It was only men were supposed to be in that area. It was reserved for men in office. She went and stood over there, and nobody like interfered. They let her have her moment. So that is how much the church has changed in the last few years. So I have a lot more
Oh, I see.
respect for
Okay.
yeah, I have a lot more respect for the fact that they've gotten less legalistic over the last few years. But it's the other directions that they keep trying to fall into that I'm like, you still don't get it. Okay, that's all right. But
Yeah.
I mean, I thought there was some things, and the fact that now that that he opened it up so that countries that were not able to be, reach the level of cardinal before was able to now, because at one time the College of Cardinals were like completely white. It was completely white. It was just white men in there at one time.
Really?
And then they slowly, yeah. And then they started beginning to, at least that I remember, then they started beginning to get like here and there. But he opened up channels for, like, I think Haiti is one of the countries that was added and a lot of other countries. So he did do that. He made it more like less male dominated and more like women are actually acknowledged in the church a little bit now, and the nuns and so forth aren't just like confined to being a nun in a nunnery and you get nothing else. It's like that's it. So I mean, at least there's a little bit more of that, because I think there was a lot of confusion with non-Catholics. Like I never understood the point of the nuns. All they did was teach. That's all I knew they did.
Yeah, I don't have a
And I
clue
was
what
like,
they do.
I'm like, nuns are what? I don't understand the point of the office.
Your cat's
So
hungry, by the way.
yeah, the cat's needy. They literally all they do is want attention 24 hours a day. They don't know how to cat well. Most cats don't want all this attention. They want attention 24/7. This is the one room that I can have that's not got cat hair in it, so I can breathe.
Very nice.
But no, so there was some good things that came out of this Pope and his time, in a way. Like I said, especially opening up for other countries to actually have the opportunity to do things. But I don't understand. I don't know. That's a very complicated religion, and if you're raised in it, I think it's great because you get a ground from the ground up understanding. But I think to be a convert would be very difficult because it's a lot to learn, a lot to take in. There's a lot.
Yeah, I don't really have good things to add to it because I'm not Catholic at all. So,
Yeah.
to me, it's all like, what are y'all doing over? That's kind of weird.
My Nana, my French Canadian grandmother was very Catholic. She was incredibly Catholic, but just the French Canadian side. Tom, you're back.
Yeah, I accidentally touched some USB cables connected to my camera, and my computer had a complete and utter hissy fit, and I tried to restart it. It wouldn't restart. I had to push and hold the button down and then come completely back in. Hi, Daniel. How was your day?
Hello. My day was very interesting. It's definitely a sign of the end of times when my niece calls me to hang out, because that doesn't happen very often. And I find out why now, because like she was the only person doing her job in the company that she was in for a while. So she spent the last year making much money, but having to sell houses by herself. So there were no other sellers. And so she's been swamped for a while, but they finally got her a seller. So somebody to partner with. So that's good.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a long day. Other than that, I worked on the website. How was your day?
It was good. It's been hot. And yeah, it's been hot. Went to the beach a little bit. We kind of went to it, then came back and spent a little time with my lady, and now she went to her friend's birthday party. So
You only get one season, and that's hot.
I get a hot, I get a muggy, I get a rainy, which is also still hot, and then I get a slightly cooler dry season, which is like November through January. So even in that season, like the coldest day will be like high of 75, 77.
So what you're saying is you get different flavors of hot.
Yeah. It's always hot all the time. That's why it's probably why I'm a little crazy. I think my brain's been cooked a time or two here.
No.
Yeah.
No, not you.
I doubt that too.
No.
No, it's
Yeah.
not true at all. Dude, we gotta catch up and do a pod, just me and you, man. I got Jim coming back on. Jim's gonna come back on with me like a couple weeks after you and Jim do your show. I want to have you back on, and I want to do something with you. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's been a while, and I don't like it.
And look, depending on when it is, I mean, I've already done 2 investigations with Sin Schrader Hill recently, and then I'm
Very
going
cool.
to be at the festival on this weekend, the Bigfoot Festival. And then
Right.
there's a lot going on, actually. Austin is going to keep us very busy for a little bit when he's starting to do film season 2. So, because he's, Austin is very much like, he's not just going to like take the buildings that he's renting out and not share the wealth. So yeah, so he's offered some of us to go with him to some of these places, which is really awesome. The one place I'm very excited, I'm not going to say anything about it right now, but I will tell you it sounds very exciting.
Tell us.
Don't tell us.
No. You'll get
Do it.
nothing.
Do it.
You get a pyramid.
Yeah, I got
Speaking of
Austin coming up
pyramids.
too, man. I'm going to be doing him in a little while. Sorry, Jim. Go ahead. Speaking of pyramids.
No, tell us what's Austin doing.
No, just like he's coming on the show too. I'm going to promote his stuff, dude. He finished season 1, and I'm looking forward to talking to him.
Actually, has he finished? You know what? I can't. Don't
confirm or
don't
deny.
get your hopes up that he's finished yet. I haven't heard that he's finished. He had the last episode to do the last time I heard.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he's finished now. He better be, because now that's just being like lazy. No, it's not. He gets busy. But one night he was just really tired and just didn't do it. But he is working on season 1 still, or was, and getting it ready to process. But the way that he's doing things, it has to get approved before it goes to, because he's not doing stuff the way we do it. He's doing like he's streaming.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's got to, the way he's doing it, they've got to approve it, make sure it's good quality and all that stuff.
Cool.
He's probably going to stream it from the top of his pyramids, because apparently they're not what they said they were. Okay, Jim, I got you.
Take it away. You brought it up.
What did they say they were?
Yeah. So, well, they've been saying their tombs of this particular one. They kept saying.
Mm-hmm. Dum dum dum. I have an idea. I remember on. Oh yeah. Wait. Da-da! God. Da-da-da-da-da-da. No, didn't work. I don't know. On that note, I'll turn the music off because I remember in previous episodes, of course, his computer was way slower back then. Me having music turned on made his connection go and die. So I'm curious if that's what's happening. So
Possibly.
I'll turn it off.
Let me see. Yeah. While
Yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
that,
What?
While you're doing that, I'm gonna check and see something right quick. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I want to make sure. Well, because I'm getting a notification that I'm getting a. What is that? Where my thing? Oh my god! Facebook is flipping out. Surprise!
Yeah.
Surprise!
They do that. Oh, and on that note, Facebook, don't forget y'all, 10% off on my merch till May the 10th. Woot! Suck it, Facebook. Well, at least they're not like Twitter and kick me off because they think I'm an AI reposting spam. So there is that. But yeah, so on that note, I'll just start carrying us into pyramids, and I know Tom will be back in a second because Tom actually did a show on this. I'm sure that he knows a little bit more about it. I mean, I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants on this. But yeah, what we're told in the official narrative is the Great Pyramid is a tomb for Khafre, something like that. But yeah, apparently it's not, and there has never been a single tomb or mummy found inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. And, they did a recent study recently doing some radiographic work, and I think it was from a satellite, but essentially what they were seeing was the fact that there is some kind of structures underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. Oh,
Aren't people surprised by that?
Yes. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to. There we go. Whoop. There we go. Trying to pull up a picture here so I can be kind of professional. Like, oh, there he is. What up? What happened this time?
Hello, Tom.
Hi. It's been one of those days where I think I've seen better days. Oh, let me go over into the chat. Let's go check out the comments.
Right. I'll be right back. I'm listening.
Yeah. So,
oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
So this is what we're seeing here. Basically, is we got the pyramid, and we got all these little structures going down. We got these little coily looking doomer flotchies going all the way down to this big old thing of bedrock. And yeah, essentially that's what they're saying is underneath the pyramid.
Underneath the pyramid of Khafre.
Was it Giza or Khafre?
Well, Giza is the whole area. It's the Giza Plateau. And Khafre is if you're looking at the picture in the upper left, that's the, I don't know which one's, I think the Great Pyramid's the one in the back, and Khafre is the one in the middle there. The one which still has the limestone cap on it.
Ah, okay. Interesting that.
That don't look anything like no gizzards.
What?
I thought you said gizzards.
No, the Giza. G-I.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking about catfishing. We're talking about rocks. You like rocks. Come on now.
I do like rocks. I got lots of them.
Yeah. So anyways.
You just made my day, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, so rocks and stuff. Yeah, so that's what's going on apparently underneath one of them pyramids, whichever one it is.
Khafre.
Wow. Kafra.
What are you doing there? You making popcorn? What the hell is that?
No, hold on a second. So,
Yeah, I muted you. Are you good? Good? Wait, hold on. Good? Are you good?
His face is more
There you
than
go.
enough.
what?
I have the power.
What did you do?
I muted you.
He muted you.
Did me rude?
We're rating.
I'm good.
No, you're going to say something.
What am I saying? What do you want me to say? Do you have me muted again?
No.
I thought you were like coming out with some kind of big reveal. That's why you were going through your papers and shuffling.
Sound like
No.
plastic to me.
Yeah, something.
It was a box I was opening. Never mind.
This is the best podcast I've ever been a part of.
God.
What?
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Oh man, it's one of those things where like I keep falling out, and then you had your busy day, and Jim's over there trying to hold ship, and now you're opening a box. That's why it's fun.
Oh yeah, well, you guys are talking about box. I got mail. That's cool. Oh yeah, you don't say.
You got boxes, and you can't. I have Tigger.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He's Russian though. He speaks with a Russian accent.
He's rushing where?
No, Russian.
Where's...
Russian. Like the people from the Eurasian largest country in the world has like 17 time zones or something like that. Yeah, that was. Anyhow, Jim's over there looking at.
So.
Yeah, I gave it to Sarah a long time ago. Anyhow, yeah.
Anyway,
so it's very they don't allow you, like, this is where science is like really peed me off. Mm-hmm. It's really pissed me off. Excuse me. Is that science is supposed to be basically science is a methodology, or even what's the word before science? What was that called, guys? Philosophy. It's a philosophical concept in which we use, and there's a 7-step process where we go through and we check time and time again to get as close to an answer as we possibly can. But yet Egyptology doesn't allow you to do any type of scientific studies over there. So therefore they come out with this. I mean, if you go up to the Great Gallery of the giant pyramid, it's only like 4.5 feet tall. And they put this, they call it a sarcophagus. Well, I don't think it's that. They got two shafts sticking out. They don't allow you to do any type of scientific research over there. So when you go over there, you have to go, I'm a tourist. And then you pull out a tape measure that you have in your little duffel bag so you can measure a rock while they're not looking at you. So that's why this is, I think it's one of the greatest mysteries of our time, as well as ancient times. What are you doing back there, bro?
I'm just, don't pay attention. Pay no attention.
It's really hard because your microphone's like down on your table. So,
are you hearing things?
I'm hearing everything, dude. You could be tattooing a lizard right now, and I would know it.
What?
It has been a long day. A lot of driving. You look good, dude. You look really good, dude. You look like you lost some weight. Like you lost some weight. You got a little goatee going on there, dude. I'm digging it.
I wish I had lost some weight, but no, I have not lost weight yet. I need to lose weight.
Yeah, me too, man.
The facial hair is slimming.
There it is. It makes you have a more pronounced chin line.
Yeah, you just need to let that sucker grow out so we can call you Gandalf.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that.
Please.
No. Yeah, dude. So like, when it comes to all this, even the COVID stuff, we can say it now. It is now definitively. There you go. That's something that came out that we didn't even think of.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's a thing that just came out. We were saying this back in 2020, but if you were to say it, you were then racist, which is a political move. to use racism as a political move shows you what they have on the shelf. That's what they do. They go, well, if you don't agree with us, then you are this. And that's what they were doing. You remember that? Remember that? If you say, hey, dude, this came out from a laboratory, the virology laboratory, the virology laboratory there in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. No, it came from a wet market, which I find to be even more racist than that explanation. And now it's definitive proof this was man-made. This came out, and we can now say that. Thank you very much, YouTube, Facebook, and all alike, for being a co-conspirator and hiding the truth. We knew it 5 years ago.
True.
You Fs. Excuse me. Pardon my language. Makes me angry, dude. Makes me super angry.
But on that note, now I am very curious to know what a pangolin tastes like. Do you cook it over rice? Do you put it in a soup? Barbecue it, fry it?
Does that make me insensitive? I'm not interested.
No, it's just so culinarily really lacking, lost I guess. Here. I don't know.
What we're talking about,
super lost here.
Yeah, buddy. What we're talking about is that it is now published knowledge that you can actually go onto the government website and look, and they're saying that the COVID virus, which is real, viruses are real, guys, which it's not from some wet market. It's directly linked to the institute that's there in Wuhan, which may be also a part of this whole. Well, I don't think it is, but this tariff thing, who knows what that's all about? We'll figure that out. I guess we'll see how that runs its course. But they are implicit. The CCP are implicit in hiding what happened there, and it affected the whole world, and tons of people passed away. So that came out. That is huge.
Why are we surprised by that? Because their first test was HIV and AIDS. That was their first test, and that.
Are we allowed to say that on YouTube?
We are now.
That's fair. Carry on.
I mean, if you go back to and you look at the paperwork, there was meetings held about zero population growth and how to control the population, because the population was getting out of hand. At one point when I was a kid, I remember seeing television commercials about trying to propagate zero population growth into the minds of people publicly. They were actually doing television promotions for it, 60-second promos on TV on Saturday morning. Like a 6-year-old is going to have anything to do with that to start with. So
was it like condom commercials or something? I'm confused.
No, they were just trying to get people to become more responsible at that point and plan your families and so forth. So it's instead of having random nookie night, put it on a calendar or something, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
Remember, kids, to pull out.
That works. That works. To put it on a calendar. That I know that most people love to do that by decree on a calendar. It's insane.
Why not? Well, so the idea was,
why not? Because maybe I'm not in the mood. Maybe I want to watch. Maybe I want to watch the Snorks. We're going 80s.
As early as the 1950s, they were trying to figure out how to tackle the population growth. I mean, now we're up to 8 billion people, and they knew it was going to be large numbers of people. So at this point, they've succeeded, because now the populations are declining to the point where the governments are starting to panic because nobody wants to make babies anymore. Well, they can't afford to.
That happened long before that. That happened back. You were saying the 50s. I mean, in the 60s, they implemented things where underprivileged people would have extra money if fathers weren't in the home. This is proven. So they go, so in the destruction of the black family. Let's just go ahead and say it. The absolute destruction of the Afro-American family. I mean, back before that, 75% of all fathers were together with their family, and now 75-25, and now the numbers are reversed, and then we wonder why things are the way they are. That's a big part of it as well. But a lot of it has to do with, when you industrialize any nation, and China's done that. I'm kind of repeating Peter Zion at the moment, but when you industrialize people and you move them out of the countryside where it's basically free labor to have a bunch of children and move them to the city, they become now expensive. And then you implement one-child policies. We're just talking about China. We're not talking about Korea, where they're working 60-hour weeks because they're trying to get the best jobs. And then, in China, they have dudes on billboards and having meetups and stuff. People are just not interested in having children. And whatever that plays itself out to be, I'm fine with it, because that's just the way it is. But to kind of back what you're saying there, Magic, it has been the undercurrent. You'll hear children are bad, or they got sticky hands and they mess up your house, and man, all this complaining. Oh wow, there you go. You got your Jeanette
yes.
cup too.
It premiered last night. I haven't
gotten mine. I'm gonna get mine when it fills up. Yeah, so it's been part of it. Oh, I'm looking forward to it, guys.
You're getting it.
You sent it?
Not yet.
Oh, so there it is. We found the culprit. It wasn't me. Because Jeanette's like, you haven't gotten it yet. And I'm like, no, I haven't gotten it yet.
I still have to pick up 5 more terraforms. Apparently 4 is not enough.
So sorry. It's not my fault. I just happen to live down here.
It's my fault because I love you so much that I have a 30-something pound box coming your way. And apparently the government's like, hey, we need a list of everything, and we need to know how much it weighs.
Did that too. I did that when I moved from Germany.
Yeah,
I was gonna send all my. I had 4 sheets this long with everything in there, with all the serial numbers and codes, and in the end, it was too much, and I didn't send it. But yeah, sorry, Jim.
It's coming. It's coming.
Sorry.
You're gonna send that through the U.S. Postal Service? Please tell me no.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Okay, well, let's talk about that later. We're trying to talk about pyramids. You guys are killing me tonight.
No, we're not, dude. We're having a good time.
I know.
Okay, so the U.S. Postal Service and pyramids, they all go together.
And this is how they do it.
Well, to send stuff through the U.S. Postal Service, you have to use U.S. dollars, and on the back of that, there's a pyramid. Let's go.
Boom. Got it.
There you go. So the interesting thing I found about because I was watching a video where this guy was talking about the caves underneath the pyramids, and they know that there's cave systems that go out past the Great Pyramid into the other, underneath the other pyramids. They actually they had to go through the Tomb of the Birds to be able to find this. Which I find very interesting, that they have a tomb of mummified birds underneath the pyramid.
Well, you know what they say. A bird in the tomb is worth 2 in the bush.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Old Egyptian saying.
Magic is not impressed.
I'm sorry. What were you saying about the postal office? What was in your box?
You did a Giza gizzard joke, so let's move on.
Right. I know, right. So here's the thing. It's if we know that there was cave systems under there, and actually he broke it down. I hope I saved that. That may be one of those videos that James did clinked with me, because that guy, is he in here, dude? You find he gets some amazing videos.
James R. Hood, yes.
He literally has single-handedly got me just deep diving into rabbit holes I never even thought of before. Literally. Yeah. But he may have sent me the link or posted that link somewhere. But it was all about how this tunnel system and everything was essentially why the caves underneath there was one of the reasons why everything was built where it was built to start with, apparently.
Okay.
Right.
And what I'm really surprised about, though, that people are surprised that there's something underneath the pyramids that we don't know about yet.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
that's a good point, because like it wasn't 2 weeks, I think, that passed when this initial first thing came out, where the same people had like another headline of saying,
Mm.
we found this, and guess what? That whole underground city thing that they talk about being underneath the pyramid for years now, it's also there. That, and it's like, you know, first of all, why would you even need to wait to release that? Like if you saw that in the same scan, why not just release it all?
Well, because
It's
knowledge
weird.
is dangerous. To know your past and to know where you come from or possibly come from, to know any of that outside of what they want you to think is
Mm,
dangerous to those who are in power. They want you to
right.
consume, and they want you to get fat and eat your Burger King, which is now dog food, by the way. I can't even stomach that stuff anymore. And it got so bad, dude. I couldn't believe how bad it was. And yeah, that's the whole thing. They don't want that information to be out. That's why it's suppressed. That's why you can't go to Egypt
Right.
and be like and put in a form with the Egyptian government to say, hey, I want to go look at these things again. You can't do that. Oh, we've got everything under wraps over here. It's a
Right.
common play.
Yep.
So are you ready to have your mind blown now?
Yes.
Always.
Okay, so in Egyptian lore, there were like gods of the underworld and that sort of thing, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And
Anubis.
pharaohs were considered gods as well.
Yes.
So are the gods of the underworld the pharaohs of the underground cities?
Gods of the underworld. Hold on.
That depends. How were the pharaohs conceived? What's their bloodline look like?
Well, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, biblically speaking, if it depends on how much blood they have, that would link them back to, the fallen. So, I mean, I don't know what that line is. I know that in order to be considered clean from, the Jewish days, if you like, say, if you intermarried with somebody that was a Gibberim, for instance, right? It would take 10 generations before you were considered clean, So if there is enough of that DNA in them to the point where they are more what we would consider Nephilim, Raphaim, whatever, after they die, I mean, their spirit would be bound here because they are of the earth, because they're an abomination of two different things. So technically, yeah, makes sense.
You
Just
do
depends on how
know
much
that
is
the
there.
pharaohs. You do know that the pharaohs were like so incredibly inbred. They were like Egyptian wrong turn, right?
I mean, they had some big old long heads, so who knows? And
Like
that's okay in 2025. We love you for who you are.
I mean, look at the picture behind you. Talking about big old long heads.
Wait. Oh, wait, wrong one. There's me. Hello.
The thing is like all the things that are going on right now. I'm just enjoying it and enjoying it. Like like there's a saying, like when you're born in the world, when you're born into the world, you're born into the freak show. When you're born into America, you get a front row ticket. Just enjoy the show, man. Enjoy the show. You have to be
Sure.
whole with yourself. You have to be one
Mhm.
with yourself and your connection to God, dude. That's what's important. And after that, you'll be all right, dude. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, genetically speaking, though, it's a great point, Magic, and, I mean, if you really wanted to get down that rabbit hole, I would say, yeah, it's very possible. Very possible. It just
I mean,
depends on what they are.
for every myth and every lore, there's a hint of truth there.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden we're confronted with these underground cities. Why would they not have their own pharaohs?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what the hell were they doing in the underground cities is what I want to know.
Underground city stuff.
Yeah, what were they doing there? You're like, like they go, why would they be underground? Like, what is it, 2 football fields down?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some ridiculous number. Like what are they doing down there?
I
You know what I
bet they
mean?
were having a fish fry.
Bigfoot
Maybe
conference.
they were like the
Exactly.
squeeze stuff.
I'm sure if somebody was probably knitting too, maybe crocheting or something. I'm sure they were just doing, underground city people stuff.
Or like maybe like okay, like if it's okay, so we know that the pyramids are on a ley line, right? It's on the 33rd, I think, right?
Mhm.
So like there might be a way like maybe with these scans, I might be incorrect. I think they were scanned from outer space, guys. I think they were scanned from satellites. I don't think anyone actually got the chance to actually put boots on ground in Egypt, as far as I understood from what
Not
I
without
was when I did my video.
somebody.
Yeah, I might be shooting in the air there, guys. So like I said, check it out yourself. But if they're on these ley lines, I mean, how far did they look out? How far, you know, I mean, maybe all these things are connected. Like they're connected to Alexandria, and maybe they're connected. Who knows? Hollow Earth. It could be anything.
Well, I mean, if it's on a ley line, and we already have very compelling evidence to say that the pyramids are power plants, anyways.
Right.
You look at those pillars, and they're spiraling going down. I mean, it looks like a coil,
Right.
and it's harnessing that power and then drawing it up.
Or
I
like
mean,
the best, like the best Disney ride ever, like some water rapids stuff. That's when I seen it. I was like, I would love to get on that and ride that to the bottom. That was because I think I have a little bit of something. I'm somewhere on the spectrum, and but yeah, I've heard the power plant thing. I mean, if you go to Tesla, the relation with 3, 6, and 9, there's 3 large pyramids. I mean, there's so many things that you can go through. I'm not a big fan of numerology. Not a big fan, because they'll go, if you add 7 and 4 together, you get 11, and there's 9, 11, and I just can't, guys. There's a part of me that's the one thing where I kind of go, I have the hardest time with that one. I believe more in FE than I do with numerology. That's my personal opinion, and you guys can go do with that what you want. But I have a hard time with numerology. Maybe I'm off base here. Maybe magic can change, because magic, I think, could be probably one of the few people who could change my mind about that. But I have a problem with those guys for the most part, or girls, whoever's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like to me, in my opinion, portals ain't porta potties ain't gonna make themselves. So you got to be able to, make some power somewhere to be able to talk to your gods. So
you can't say that word.
Well, last time we said portals here, the stream like crapped out. Remember?
Maybe I fell into the portal and don't remember now.
Or the porta potty.
Roll the dice. Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but this is what this is. I mean, I'm talking to you. You guys are both in the States. I'm here in Mexico, and I'm looking into a portal. And you guys are looking into a portal, and people who are watching this live are also looking into a portal. So it's your definition. So I mean, do with that as you will.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call. What do you think, Magic?
About porta potties?
Yeah. Of course. What else are we talking about?
They're hot and smelly.
And they have that blue water.
And they have the blue water. The blue water of death to go with the screen, blue screen of death. Here's the thing.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Let's talk about buttered sausage. What is it? Get it out of my face. What's it doing?
Right. So first of all, they've had different theories over time about a lot of things. Like have they really even explored the Sphinx? And if they have, what have they found? Because there's been a lot of theories over time about all of this, and that's why I'm kind of surprised that people are surprised that they're finding stuff now. Cause I'm like, well, duh.
The Sphinx is way older than what they said. Way older.
Alone speaks for
just
that.
What Robert Schoch found, the geologist from I think the Institute of Massachusetts Institute. I can't quite remember where he's from, but he's like, where they cut into the side of the hill there, and that outcrop, you can see that's water erosion. So when's the last time that Egypt had that amount of water to make that type of erosion? We're talking what, 13, 15,000 years? And then the precession of the equinox. It's a lion. The precession of the equinox right now is looking at, I think, Aquarius. But it used to many years ago. How many years ago? Pisces? Well, yes.
I don't know. Ask Pam.
No.
She's an asparagus. She knows.
I think we're in it. But anyway, it's looking at one of those. Yeah. But when the water erosion could have possibly happened, and take that timeline and go back, if you look
Mm-hmm.
at it, what it's looking at in the night sky is Leo. And
Right.
it's the lion's head and all that stuff. So it's way older. And I think to go on Magic's point there, I think like a couple years ago, they said they found a chamber underneath one of the paws. That place is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to go there because it's weird. I've watched a person who actually went there, and like he's one of his world traveler guys, and
Mm-hmm.
the problems he had, which is going into his freaking hotel with camera equipment. They pulled out all the stops and what do you got here? And it's just I need to fix the government over there before I decide to go to Egypt. I'd rather be down here in Mexico where I can go look at these pyramids. Much cooler.
There you go.
And much closer too, guys. Much closer.
Right.
Well, and there's this thing in itself. Why is every civilization in the world got pyramids? They've even found pyramids in Tennessee of all places.
Yeah.
Why are we surprised? Everything. Tennessee has got everything. We literally have everything. So I'm not surprised. But
you have desert?
we do. It's
really? All right.
It's called West Tennessee.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I would think that they would put a Bob Big Boys or something like that, or something right next to the pyramid. That's America. Like they put the pyramid. There's one in Vegas too, guys.
I mean, the biggest pyramid is in Memphis, isn't it? The Bass Pro Shop pyramid.
I think the biggest pyramid had just found one down here. I think it's in Guatemala or something like that, or San Salvador, or maybe even Mexico. They just found the biggest pyramid like recently. It's humongous. They didn't even know it was one.
Didn't they find pyramids in the Arctic too? In Antarctica?
Yes,
allegedly.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
There's also one in Serbia, China.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in I think there's one in Indonesia that they actually did a core sample on, and they drilled down and they found organic matter when they are carbon dated it where it's over 100,000 years, and they were like nothing more to see here.
I think that's called Gedong Padang. I believe
yes,
the name of the one
nailed it, bro. Yes, that's exactly what it's called. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And dude, then you have Göbekli Tepe, where it's like, that's shut down now too. It's interesting. We're starting to dig into our past, literally and figuratively, and they don't want that. They're like, no, this is the narrative. It's been a slow, gradual incline, from the Stone Age to the Copper Age to the Medieval Age to the Renaissance to the Modern Age to now the Postmodern Age. It's been a slow, gradual decline. But I think we've gone through cycles. I don't know how that fits with biblically and all that, but this is what I feel that's happened.
We're getting there. We're getting
there. Yeah, we're getting there. All right. I'm sure you'll find a way. Go for it, boy.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's like, you're not wrong. Like focus on all the bread and circus. What's going on? What is the now? What is the now? Hey, look over here. We did this. Hey, look over here. We made dire wolves. Things like that.
Right. That's a weird one, but it's not even a dire wolf.
It's a good point. It's not.
Who the hell I was talking? I was talking with somebody about that. I think it was Robert from Monstrous podcast. He's like, nah, dude, it's not that. It's like we don't even know what it's going to look like once it gets what they're going to look like once they get mature of age. But
right,
I think that why would they bring back like the mammoth or something? I'm sure they can find some DNA.
Well,
that's
they're
even
working
better than
on that,
which is weird. Why would you want to do that?
It's to control. What's that called? Climate control. That's why they want mammoths to be back in the Arctic Circle, so that way they will be stomping down the permafrost, not allowing the greenhouse gases to come out from the ground or something like that. It's very convoluted, but the resurrection of the mammoth is ultimately tied to climate control. They want to do that.
What do you guys feel about that? What do you guys feel about climate control?
You guys see the wolves there, or is it not working?
No, it's working, bro. It looks good. They are cute. I would definitely pet them.
So the cool thing about them is I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I would totally pet them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd poop them on the snoot.
Yeah, dude, I would give them names. I would give them names
They
and
have names.
put them in my yard.
They're
I don't care
called
what they name them.
Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi is the female. But so the interesting thing about
Romulus?
them, yeah,
Star Trek?
Romulus and Remus, as in the founders of Rome.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
At the same time as the Pope, what you were talking. That's interesting. I don't know. You
right?
probably made that connection already, didn't you, Jim?
I thought of it, but I was
Yeah.
just like,
Okay.
eh,
Cool.
probably
I
nothing.
thought I was being clever, but we know that.
No,
escapes me most
it's
of the time.
cool. It's cool. It's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is like you're saying, they're not really dire wolves traditionally, because a dire wolf is a giant fox, right? And these are gray wolves that have the genes that have been taken from dire wolves and then spliced into their DNA, and now we have some kind of mutant chimera. We'll see how it goes.
Which leads a lot of credence to like Dogman and stuff like that. I mean, if they could do that with a dire wolf, why couldn't they do that with something else?
Oh, careful, he's learning. Yes.
I'm not learning, dude. What are you talking about learning?
I'm kidding.
I'm learned it. I'm learned it, dude.
Done learned it, bro.
Do you think the dire wolves probably listen to Dire Straits?
Money for nothing and your chicks for free? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Is that the words? Yeah. I'm a big fan of Sultans of Swing myself. That's a cool song.
Yeah.
So
we have a dire need to talk about dire wolves. So
the thing that I think we really haven't, I don't think you guys probably brought this up yet even, is like we're talking about like these things that are happening currently, but like before, there's a precursor to things that started this escalation of kind of current frickery that we're in right now.
I love that
Very
word. Nice. I like the real one better, but yeah, thanks.
I mean, it is what it is. And actually, if you ever watch Scottish television, they say "fick" a lot instead of the other one.
Okay.
One of the big precursors to all this was the infamous drone thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was like
with that?
Now, have you not been paying attention to the stories coming out of Daytona Beach, Florida, where they were seeing drones coming up out of the water, and supposedly there was a mothership in the water there off of Daytona Beach. So, I mean, it still hasn't gone away, and we don't know what other countries right now are maybe experiencing that's not being told to us, because we still don't have news really coming out of Russia. What is it? 30% of Africa has kicked out our embassies, so I'm pretty sure that there's a large percentage of countries there that we're not getting news from right now.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's new stuff. That's new stuff.
The 30% of the countries, and you know why though, don't you? Because those countries are in cahoots with the Chinese, because of they I'm just guessing that the Chinese have been in Africa very strongly within the last couple of decades, supporting them through their bank system to give them infrastructure in return for raw materials and oil and things like that. So they're like, hey, you guys have to kick them out. If not, okay, so that's what's going on. All right.
Yeah. And also, I mean, ever since this direwolf stuff's been in, they've been talking a lot more. Like, apparently more news has been coming out about China doing more CRISPR experiments with humans, trying to make super soldiers.
They've been doing that for a while. That's what Alex Jones has been saying. That's for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting though that this whole CRISPR thing is just really taking off of late. Like, what do you make of it?
I think it's been going off, but I think now they're just bringing it more to the forefront for whatever reason. I think it's probably a distraction for something else, which they always do. Was it problem, solution, problem, reaction, solution kind of thing,
Mhm.
as well as like to redirect attention from what's going on, for
Mhm.
whatever exactly going on, because we'll never know
Mm.
what's really going on. But
Right.
I mean, I kind of understand where you're probably going to come from on this. But for me, it's just more of the same. It's just more of the same.
Hmm.
I find it very amusing that the very people like Xe over there in China talking about like Trump confusing the people with what he's saying right now, because he's saying one thing and then they're saying another thing about the negotiations that are going on supposedly between the two countries. And he's saying that Trump needs to quit saying things to confuse the people. And I'm sitting there going, ain't that the rice pot calling the kettle black? Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Don't you think
please
that
tell us
maybe?
more, communist leader.
Yeah, don't you
I
think it's
mean,
very interesting that all the control that they have in China is allowed to persist? Don't you think that
Mm.
maybe that is the proving grounds for what they're trying to bring to the States?
Yep.
You know,
well, and
where
if you
the ultimate surveillance and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and
Mhm.
even I mean, let's look at another piece of the puzzle here. Like, do we really think that the whole TikTok fiasco there, or whatever you want to call it, was
Fiasco.
like that? The
Oh.
fiasco, yeah, the
Why'd you put an
fiasco
N in
with
there?
yeah, the fiasco with TikTok
How did you do that?
was absolutely like so in your face, because it's what happened the minute TikTok shut down for a whole 19 hours. Like all of these crazy people went and jumped on Red Note. You don't think that was orchestrated? Come
Mm.
on, people. Come on.
I don't even know
And
what Red Note
then
is.
it's the Chinese equivalent of TikTok,
Okay.
basically.
Mhm.
But without like, I mean, their focus is not necessarily just like TikTok was originally a music app,
Mhm.
basically, and like this is they're more social media. But the thing of it is, the thing that I found very interesting is that like when when you sign up over there, like everybody was like welcoming the, as they were calling it, the TikTok refugees and all this, and
Mhm.
and it was like this big ho, like we're so proud you're here, and we're going to teach you Mandarin, and we're going to teach you about Chinese culture, and you're going to show us pictures of cute kitties, and and all this kind of stuff, and there was going to be this amazing
They must have been looking
exchange,
for recipes. Carry on.
probably, right? um I could give them a wonderful haggis recipe, they'd love it.
I meant
But
the cat, but yeah.
oh, well, that too. But oh, that's rude. um, no ruder than me saying something about the rice pot. Anyway, here's the thing
Yeah.
of it. It's like everybody like got on that bandwagon and they jumped over there and just flooded the place with the whole like all these new accounts
Mhm.
from TikTok. Like even non-Americans were going over there
Mhm.
because they were hearing so much about it. So not only was that most likely orchestrated, but who, where did the whole thing start? It started with a bunch of old men, having like grilling the CEO of TikTok to start with, asking
Mhm.
him questions on television about, do you need to access the internet to get on TikTok?
I mean, do
Yeah,
you?
No.
Oh, okay.
really.
It's free. It just exists.
I just
You
can't
literally
believe
plug
like
in.
you did the cat joke and you did the rice pot joke, and I just couldn't believe for a split second that I was the PC guy in the room. But that's cool.
Literally,
It's a good call.
like I sat there and watched about 4 hours of them grilling this guy, and the questions that
Mm.
these old
Really?
guys were asking. Yeah,
Just like the cats.
it
Damn.
was it was like, and this poor guy was like looking at him like did he really just say that? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, yep, these are the people that folks voted into office. Welcome to America. And I mean,
Yeah.
because the questions were ridiculous. They were absolutely ridiculous. It's
Term
like,
limits, please. Carry on.
and
Carry on.
I was just like, why are we surprised by any of this? But the bottom line is that it was, even that hearing was orchestrated. I can't believe they're that stupid for real. I mean, maybe, but come on. How many people don't know that you got? I mean, if you're smart enough to run for office, you're smart enough to know that if it's an app, you need the internet for it. This
Right.
was purely orchestrated. It was clearly orchestrated, the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't go on TikTok, and I don't know much about TikTok. I stay away. I try my best. Like, I'm still trying to figure out Rumble. I try to go live. I think it was last night, and I had it up on the StreamYard, and I had it ready to go. I clicked on it, like, we can't get it over there. I'm like, damn it, dude. I still haven't figured it out. So I try to, I have Facebook because I understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's relatively easy to understand.
And I hear the comments now from the young folks. Okay, boomers.
I'm
right.
I'm an Xer myself. I think you're a millennial, Jim. I think
I am.
Daniel,
It's
you're
slang for being old.
you're an Xer too, right? You're Gen X, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're, what are you, 60? No, what year were you born? 66, 7? No. 70 something. Oh, fuck, out of 20. 65.
Mm-hmm.
60. Yeah, you just made it. You're at the very beginning of X.
I just made it.
Yeah, you just made it. You're ready. You're past the war babies. Like, and I am at it's between 79 and 80s when they say X ended. I'm 80, the February of 80. So yeah, I love that too. That's another thing they do. That's another thing they do, guys. They go, you're a boomer, you're an Xer, you're this, you're that. So they try to separate you in every way possible. Racial, your sex. They tried to make 75 different one of those, which is insane. I'm sorry, there's not that many. But there's variations between those. There's men who are more feminine and feminine who are more masculine, and there's also very few cases where they're both. Let's get that out of the way. There's not 75 of them. Okay, fair enough. They tried to do that. They tried to do the generational thing. They tried to do it status-wise. You're rich, you're poor, you're here, you're just part of the city. I live behind a gated community. You're not worthy of this, that, the other. That's all. It's all part of the game, guys. You got to see this for what it is. You have to see it for what it is. Get reconnected with your communities, dude. Our community is the weird community. We like monsters. We like the paranormal. You know what I mean? This is our community. But within that community, there's people like Jim, there's people like Daniel, there's people like myself who come from all walks of life. And we come in and we're going, what the hell is this stuff? That's the fun part of it, because we don't know, and mysteries are our thing. For me, I think it's tied in with like past civilizations that they don't consider exist, with the powers that be, with the 300 families on top, as well as the the puppeteering, crappy media that they've been forced down our throats forever. So it's like, it's all part of it, dude. Like this whole, like the thing you said with the boomer thing, that I don't understand TikTok or whatever. So what? I don't care. It's not gonna. I know how to weld. I know how to make a house. Can you guys do that? You know what I mean? Everyone has their skill set.
I find this funny too, because I know a 30-year-old that doesn't even know how to send an email. So I mean, he doesn't.
That's funny.
I literally had to give him my phone number so he could text me, because he did not know how to email.
That's interesting. But to be fair, every time I write a check, I write it and then I rip it off the book and I show it to the cashier. I go, did I do this right? And she goes, yeah. So
you're still writing checks?
Sometimes.
And he doesn't even know how to fill one out. That's the funny part.
I haven't written a check in freaking, seriously, dude, 25 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I never hardly ever do it. So I'm just like,
right. You have to write out like,
right?
like $35.94, and then you have to write 94 over 100 or some shit.
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
And then draw the line.
Yes.
Yes.
And draw the line on your name so don't go right over top of it. And then on the back, there's a little thing. I like their checkers. I haven't done that. I've done because being in Europe, they don't use them. They just don't use them. You just have internet banking and that's it.
Uh-oh.
YouTube just interfered with the chat. How so?
They hid Tim, apparently.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Is that when he made the comment about men?
Yeah, then don't say it now. Yeah, you can't say it then. Yeah, there
Wasn't
it is
me.
once again, guys.
It wasn't me. Oh, they hid it and she unveiled it. Yeah, that's cool. Good job.
I hope he puts that through. That's one thing I hope for sure he puts through. You can think whatever you want to about the orange guy with the eagle head haircut, whatever you think about that guy, that's fine. But because there was a point during one of his things to the build up to the election, he was saying that he wants to go through and basically put the First Amendment free speech on all these platforms, and I think that would be the best thing ever.
Oh yeah,
the best thing. I don't care what you feel about it. I don't care. You can. There's going to be stuff on there. I don't think there should be children's stuff out.
Right.
Sexualization. I mean, you go on Facebook, it's the same thing. All my top row is just like the little things at the top. It's just women. You know what I mean? I don't think that should be on there. But it should just, you can clean that up the way you want to too. You can just say I don't want this. So, but that's free speech. But I think that's super important. Like if I can't talk about it, then that means you're hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The only way to combat bad ideas is with better ideas. That's it.
Exactly.
Put it on the forum. Put it out there. There's going to be things we don't like. We exercise our choice to change the channel. Remember that, guys, where you can change the channel or not watch something?
Yeah.
Remember that?
My only thought about that is people are so quick to create fights over everybody is because any opinion that's not theirs anymore, that all it's going to do is create even more chaos.
I think that's fine.
Now it's just going to be one big old giant bitch session every day, all day long, because we haven't understood yet.
It's the same thing. You could watch the Kardashians, which I've never seen, and watch that whole bitch session. The cat and whatever the hell they're talking about, which I don't know. I'm just guessing. Or Game of Thrones or the Titanic, which I've never seen any of those. Or you watch whatever it is that you want to watch. The power of choice to choose is important. If you don't want to engage with it, people are going to bitch no matter what you do. Just do what you want to do.
I mean, it's one of those things, like the people that's going to do that, they just didn't get enough spankings growing up, I guess,
or enough love or
something. But either way, if they throw a fit, that's going to cause conflict, and then maybe they'll get that sack that sock to the face that they needed.
It's not that kind of podcast, Jim. It's not that kind of podcast, Jim.
Sorry. You guys have my mind in other places or something. I don't know.
That just reminds
Freudian
me of
slip.
Yeah, Earl Grey.
That reminds me of South Park and the balls on Shinga.
Well, once bam, that happens on the ground, teabag them. Then they get both.
Wow.
I said Earl Grey was much smoother, Jim.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
This is what I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
anyways.
When we talk about that, though, in the First Amendment thing, what I find really amusing is everybody's about make America great, make America great again, make America greater again. But then they turn around and they dismiss the most important thing about being American.
What's that?
And that's if you have the right to your opinion and you have the right to vocalize what you have the right to vocalize, everybody has the same right. And you may not like it, but you need to be able to defend their right to have that same freedom. And here's where the dilemma is. Most Americans do not know how to American very well. And here's why we're failing miserably. It's true.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
They do not know how to American very well at all because, you got one side over here whining and bitching because the other side don't agree with them, so they vocalize against each other constantly. All of the social media platforms are full of people hating on each other, and it's like, and then they have the balls to actually put an American flag up on their profile, and I'm like, when are you going to figure out what that flag stands for?
Right.
It's like, Tom, did you go into the service to protect the rights of one side of people? No. You went in there to fix it for everybody, to defend everybody.
I swore an allegiance to my country to fight all enemies, foreign and domestic. All of them.
Yep.
And what were you defending?
I was defending
other than the people.
I was defending the idea of the United States.
And
the idea.
Constitution. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's an idea. I mean, before the
Right.
Constitution, it's an idea. The idea of freedom. The idea of free to choose what you want. So it's
Right.
the Constitution is just like the paperwork behind the idea. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
You know,
It's like people get really upset with me because I'll say, somebody will make a comment about, certain groups of people who are, like, God forbid they bring up, what is it, the Proud Boys or something like that, and they want to dump them into this one negative group of people, and and I'm sitting there going, well, you're pointing the fingers, but at the same time, you thoroughly believe you had the right to your opinion, and you are very vocal about that. So, and you really want everybody to know what your opinion is. So why do they not have the right to have that same freedom? We may not like what they have to say,
but these are the same people,
they have the right.
Magic, who are all about inclusion and diversity. It's like, why can't you include and add people that you don't agree with? Isn't that what okay, I must have missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, me and you both.
These are a lot of concepts that I dealt with as a comic, dude. A lot of concepts. I used to bring up, like, I think we should have more gay dudes in the NFL. Let's bring inclusion and diversity. Let's get a quarterback back there who's into dudes and goes behind centers and just go, like, oh, the wide receiver, I love this guy, and tight ends, and just like all these little jokes that I would do, but I would bring that up. It's like, you guys really want, a bunch of Asian fellas, as good as they may be, playing basketball, or do you want the really tall guys, really fast guys to play? Are we going to really play? Are we really going to do this? Or are we going to do it? Or we're going to actually have a merit-based situation? So if you are inclusion and diverse, if you want inclusion, you want diversity, so you need to include then maybe things that you don't like.
You have to.
Ideologies that you don't agree with. It could be something as crazy as like a ridiculous Holocaust denier. I don't agree with them. I think they're ridiculous.
Right.
But I think that bad idea, instead of being shut down by, Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, should be put up on trial in a court of like ideas. And and let it go. And at the end, you bury them with so much information and proof and evidence. I've been there. I've actually had my dogs run around the bomb holes in Germany, where the Allies bombed Mannheim, because that's where the factories were, some of the factories. And I go, oh, what is that? I'm talking to my ex-wife. Oh, that's a bomb hole from when the Americans bombed Germany over here. And they're everywhere throughout the whole forest. And you go, oh, so they were just doing that because it was fun? No, there was a lot of things going on. So, like, what I mean? There was like the war, there was the Holocaust that came with the war, and the ideology. Now, should we expect the Social Nationalist Party to be a part of the government? That's an interesting concept that's worth talking about. I don't think we should. And I think their ideas are ridiculous, but the ideas need to be discussed whether we like them or not. And I don't like them at all. But
the government did at the time, because look at Project Paperclip, bringing all them guys here.
Yeah. Yeah. Werner von Braun was a freaking Nazi sympathizer.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was.
Yeah.
He was one.
Well, he was, yeah. Well, we can do the same thing with Hugo Boss and, Ford, Mr. Ford there. He was a big supporter. What about the banks who backed up both sides? Wait a minute. Was it the same bank? Wait a minute. Tom. Oh, no. I'm speaking out of term here. This is my shit, guys.
Yeah.
This is what I enjoy.
Hmm.
This is my shit. I just can't do it the way I
I
want.
think the thing that really fascinates me the most by all of that is that we have to understand, like, when you talk about when you go back to the and trace the history of Germany, like, we're talking about a struggle. Like, if you read Mein Kampf, this did not just like it was not an easy path that Hitler and his followers took. I mean, they really had a struggle to get to where they were. He spent time in jail, because in the very beginning, and yet he went from somebody who was convicted of crime to somebody who literally an entire nation fell into line to back up,
They
and
had to fall in line.
they
A
literally
lot of them
they,
had to.
they had to, but there were
Not
a lot
everybody.
of
Some
them.
of them were like, "Yeah, let's go," but a lot of them,
Well,
like my ex wife's family, they were forced to, dude. They were like,
right,
either
but
you get in this tank and you go to Stalingrad, or you're going into fucking gulag. This
right
happens.
at a certain point they were forced to, but in the very beginning, what he was preaching, because you have to remember, like, at the time they were coming out of World War I,
Yeah, Treaty of Versailles.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
Right.
and Germany did get kind of the bad end of the deal
yeah.
there. I mean, there was a lot of things that he was preaching to make Germany healthier, stronger, make it a better country, make it
Well, they
great.
were made to pay
So,
reparations for the war. You know what I mean?
right, right.
And then, but what they did is they did that whole
Mhm.
thing where it's like, well, it has to be then the Jewish people.
Right,
So they just
right.
kind of took that blame and just moved it on over, and then it turned into something really,
Mhm.
really awful.
Right.
But here's the interesting part of it. It kind of became a cult in a sense, a
Oh
political
yeah,
cult at the
yeah.
very beginning.
Yeah.
And then, and then it got Jim Jones real quick. You know what I'm saying? Where they were
Okay,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
and then they were forcing people. But it's the same thing with, the Christian national movement over here, in a sense that's going on now, is like we're turning a political philosophy into a cult, and there's a danger with that, and I think that's one of the things people don't understand. And meanwhile you've got the other side, the guys we were talking about a few minutes ago, that's all about, we want diversity and we want this and that. They have their own cult going on over
Oh,
here.
okay.
So, you know when you have these two very different diversities, and people feeling very strongly about them like that, these two different powers trying to come together to see who's got the bigger pair, it is a very dangerous thing, because you've got a power keg going on there, and then you've got the people in the middle that's going, but don't you guys get what you're doing? you know and this is the same thing that started happening more and more in Germany as things started, like, getting to the point where force was put in. There was the one side that was going, "Don't you see what's happening here?" And the other side just like going, cheering on, going, "Yeah, we got this. We're going to be the best people. We're going to be the best country with the best things, because we're going to be we're going to make it, a pure Germany and this and that. It's going to be
Well,
great."
there's quite a bit of a difference because there's very strong checks and balances, and I think if anyone goes over those checks and balances, there will be repercussions. I
Hmm.
I do. There's a point there. You do have a point, and there's things that I've been seeing that I agree with you on. There's a couple things I disagree with you on, and that's fine. That's what free
Yes.
speech is. Was what free speech is.
Right.
Welcome. This is a great example of that. I don't really think Trump is a Christian. My true feelings. I think he likes to ride that boat. I just think
I
he
think
enjoys
there,
riding the boat.
I think with him, I think we have to understand that I don't honestly think that Christian nationalism is really connected to him, though that's the thing. I think there are people that support him, that are part of it, but I think the leadership of that movement is riding on its own agenda.
Oh yeah, especially in the past, dude. In the past, there was definitely that. Especially like during the first George Bush, that was when it was like at its most powerful. That's why. I mean, I think that's my perception of it. But he's definitely something different, dude. Whatever he is, I really he might be like one by name, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I don't think he really is. I really don't think like. It's just certain things you don't do and don't say. There are certain things that he does do and does say that I actually do like, where I go, okay, but he's definitely not a good speaker. He's definitely awful. He's definitely an awful speaker. Let's go ahead and say that. He really is.
He's a crappy
awful.
dancer.
Everybody says I'm the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just what they tell me. I think that's hilarious,
we got
honestly.
fat people and we're trying to get them cake and pies. Let's get them cake and pies. And it's just like he's an awful speaker.
I think it's awesome. I find it.
I do think there's parts about him that are super genuine, though. I mean, I watched Bill Maher talk about him and about behind closed doors, and Bill Maher is a staunch critic of that dude, and he was like, actually, he's kind of a nice guy. So who knows? It's very interesting times, dude. I'm enjoying it. Enjoy the show, dude. Enjoy the show. And whenever those boots come to the ground and the brown shirts come, I'm going to be ready for that too, because I know Jim's over there moving his head to the side, but I'm sworn to protect the country against enemies, foreign and domestic. I keep my eyes open and my ears to the grindstone on everything, Jim.
Brown shirts will never come.
Okay. This time to be wearing smiley shirts. Smiley shirts.
The country will have a civil divorce before that happens.
It's a fascism. It's a fascism thing.
Oh.
Or whatever that may be. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things, It's weird. It's weird. We're living
weird.
in strange times, and
it's okay though. It's okay. I think everything needs to come out. The difference between then and now is the sharing of information. Right. The difference between then and now is the sharing of information. A cult of personality
or misinformation.
What I'm saying, of course, what I'm saying is I'm lending it towards what Magic is saying. I'm trying to not appease him, because that is definitely the wrong word. I'm trying to put my feet in his shoes as he's talking, and I go, okay, have you thought about it this way? That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I think a lot of things he's doing is great. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and clean that shit. You mean to tell me you're sending money overseas for weird ass shit? I mean, that makes no sense to me.
Right.
When our infrastructure is crumbling. Wait till it goes into the military budget. There's things that I know. When you're going out for practice, like where you go, okay, we have you have to go every, I think, 6 months to qualify with your weapon. And then we do night fire with the tracer rounds, to learn all that stuff. And they're like, we have to shoot all this up. We have to make sure we get rid of all of it. If not, we won't get the same back in return. So we're there for 4 extra hours than we need to be. And I'm leaving off the firing range at 1 a.m. because we have to fire off all these rounds and my damn gun is glowing red. My weapon is glowing red. For what? Yeah. For what? That didn't really happen, though, guys.
Suddenly, though, after that, you're going to have to buy a new barrel because he just done shot out the bore.
Right. Yeah. So
that's what they did. Hold of that. That would be awesome.
Dude, we were using I can't talk too much about it. We were using technology from the 1960s, dude. That was the prices of 2050. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just what are you talking about here? Like,
I'm very much aware of how that works.
Yeah, and that was real. It's proven great technology, but I was in the military the late 90s, early 2000s. I was like, this stuff was from 40 years ago, and they were like, what are we using this for? They had some devices that were very good. I can say the SyncGARS radio, which is a single channel ground array radio systems that would jump 100 frequencies per second. That's some badass shit. OE254 antennas and all that kind of stuff. What I did, but like some of those radios that we used, like, okay, good thing it's encrypted somewhere else that way they can't get through. There's stuff that is also very maddening in the military. There's things that people who watch this, your former vets, you know what I'm talking about. There's things that are maddening. Like, for example, like this stuff just makes no sense. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of dog and pony, a lot of that shit. And like, for example, we'd have these, I was a relay system. So it would come from a place with a telephone or a switch the radio signal would shoot, and I was a transfer station, so we get repowered and then out and out again. So I'd have two antennas that are 50, 60 feet in the air, right?
Right.
But we had to camouflage our trucks and our generator. And you're like, why? So the enemy don't see it. What about those big fucking antennas right there?
Right.
You don't see those? Couldn't it just shoot a missile right down that signal line? Encrypted or not, you can do that. You know what I mean? And we know this thing. So when you do it, there's the mix and the glare. You know, you see the honor guard that flips the things and does all the pretty things, the things that you guys see who haven't been in the military. And then you see what I saw, where it's like, you know, I do think things need to be painted, put in a row and line. Your uniform needs to look. I'm with all that. But there's things where you go, wait a minute, I'm starting the trucks on a Friday evening because, like, you know, we have nothing to do. Everything's clean. And they're like, okay. I was like, why are we in final formation? They're like, oh, yeah, because blah, blah, blah. Okay, go out and start the trucks. Like, they leak oil, so I got to go out and clean the ground now. It's waste of money. What are we doing that for? We did PMCS, Preventive Maintenance Checks and Services, on Monday. That's what we're supposed to do every week. There's a lot of waste in the military. There's a lot of it. You know what I mean? If we're going to protect, because we don't know what's going on, I'm telling you, this China thing actually has me worried a bit. It really does, guys. Because if you push a superpower or close to being a superpower into a corner, if you look at any type of history, they're going to come out guns a-blazing.
Lucidity's trap.
They're going to come out guns a-blazing. So if we're going to cut off their we are their economy, basically, for the most part. At least, I don't know how much percent, but let's say at least 50%. Let's say something like this. They're not going to just idly buy and not do nothing. So we need to clean that up and make sure that our fighting forces are in order and ready for that kind of stuff, because what they've been doing has not been fair. I've been really digging into what they do, the Chinese. They basically just steal the idea, take it back to the country, take it apart. It's like we do with alien spacecraft. We take and deconstruct it and then put it back together. But they do it because they actually have, all they have to do is get a different chip or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. And then they just sell it to us at a price that's much more affordable that puts businesses out. And then they just flood the market with it, and the factory jobs go away. And I'm kind of, I don't know if tariffs are the right way to go about it. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but something needs to be done. Something has to happen.
Got to do something.
I don't get how
you're going to have, go ahead.
I don't get how this is going to, here's the thing about the math. Okay. So at one point, Walmart, if Walmart was a country, it would have been the 8th largest country in the world to import from China. So here's the problem with that. The top 3 CEOs of Walmart, 2 of them are not American. Only one of them is. So the other 2 are like Scottish and Irish. So, and they live in the UK. So I really seriously doubt that we have that much control over the market, like over a large company like that doesn't even have its full hands in the cookie jar with one of the largest. So how is that supposed to work? Because if even if we cut them off, Walmart's not going to cut them off. Walmart doesn't care. All Walmart cares about is Walmart. And, as long as they have 2 anchors in the ground over in the UK, does that 2 is greater than 1. Okay. So even though Macmillan is the CEO, the top of the food chain, doesn't mean that he can't use his other 2 to the footing to be able to keep the doors open for China. So either way, the 8th largest country in the world would be what they were as far as imports. If they were a country, that's how big their imports are from China. So we can damage them all day long, but you're still going to get, and that's just one country, one company.
Right.
What about all the other American companies that may have interest in China and that have outside? Because we're totally idiots if we think that like I know
I think it's going
Was
to be a
it?
bumpy road.
I
Either
think
way,
it's
it's going
gonna
to
be
be a
very.
bumpy. It's going to be a bumpy road, but either way, I
It
think
is.
that'll all correct itself. It will correct itself. It might be very difficult for next whatever 5 to 10 years, but it's going
I
to
have
correct
faith in the
itself. We're going to
market.
have to. We're going to have to make our own stuff, and we're going to have to deal without some stuff, and we're going to have to pay more for it. But at the same time, the people who work there are going to get paid for it.
I mean,
So
I think it's great that that we're going to have the potential to become more self-reliant because I mean now
we need to
you're
be.
talking we're talking about the idea that we're going to have to start making our own stuff. We're going to have to start relying more on and maybe American farmers will actually get something out of the deal too because they've been hit hard for years now.
Hmm.
So I mean, I think it's great that there's a potential for us opening up, industry back in America
Yeah,
again.
we're gonna have to
Because
retool everything. Though we're gonna have to retool and invigorate the economy because I think like I don't know what percentage of certain people at a certain age, young men, I think it's like 20% are just like I'm not even looking for a job. I'm not even going to do that. I think there's like 400,000 positions open now. 400,000 positions open. That's a lot, dude. That's like what the population of Wyoming or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something ridiculous like that. So people just don't want to. But I think there's no incentive.
Mhm.
Like if you know what I mean? We're all struggling to get by. Every one of us, each one of us,
Yeah.
three, and I'm sure many of the people in the chat and many people listening, we're struggling to get by.
Mhm.
But if the incentive is like, well, because I always thought that too. If you send all these jobs overseas, who's going to buy that? If there's nobody here to buy it, it's a whirlpool that goes down to nothing. So
Right.
now we're going to try to come out of the whirlpool, and it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful, but I'm here for it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think we should be an industrial power again. Plus, we have the environmental. Whatever I think about the global climate stuff, because I believe in all the narrative. Whatever I think about that personally, myself, I do think we do have environmental regulations that I hope because there was a
Hmm.
clean because I remember I'm from Baltimore. I remember there was a time you couldn't look down in the water 3 inches. You couldn't
Right.
because it was because of Bethlehem Steel and all the big companies there, and then they went away. You know what I mean? Bethlehem Steel tore itself down. There's a couple bunch of other ones too. I can't think off the top of my head. Sorry, Baltimore. But you guys remember the Bay, Patapsco River and Back River and all that.
Mhm.
You couldn't see down 4 inches. Now I remember when I left out of there back in the 90s. I mean, you could see down a foot and a half. And if you go on the other side of the Eastern Shore behind Kent Island, you could see down
Right.
2-3 feet. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But then the seagrass started growing. They were having issues with that too because of fertilizers to people's garden. There's a lot of things that come with it. But I think the moving back of that will be a good thing, but it's going to be a difficult period. But it's nothing that we as a nation can't go through. For Christ's sakes, we went through World War II, the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl. We've done it
Right.
before. We just got the people now are just fatter, just fatter. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong there. Not wrong at all.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what
Definitely.
diabetes is like what half the population by 2030.
Diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes. The sugars.
Mhm.
Well,
Because we
Yeah.
turn breakfast into freaking dessert, donuts and pancakes and all that stuff. That's not good for you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
and one of the things too that we've done to damage like the economy is getting away from localized economy. And I realize like I get so tired of hearing, well, but local business is so expensive. Oh, and now you go to Walmart and you're still paying $50 for a bag of crap. So, you know,
What bag? What kind of bag? A bag.
a bag of crap, $50.
Right.
You have unique idiosyncrasies that I absolutely enjoy. That was a really good one. Yeah,
I mean,
this is the
it's
way I always
true.
looked about it. Like when you're trying to support local businesses, there's certain things that it's just outrageous. Okay. But
Mhm.
like, try your best. Like, okay, instead of getting a pair of shoes every 6 months, get a pair of shoes every 8 months. You know what I mean? Instead
Yeah.
of getting all your little knickknacks and stuff. I like dolphins. I got dolphins all over my wall. Don't get dolphins. Like, be creative. Go to the guy down the street who like a woodworker and say, hey, dude, like, I'd like to have some dolphins in my house. what do you got? What can you do for me? Okay, it's going to cost you this much. All right, give me one of them, dude, and then like slowly build up. We have to do that. It's going to be hard. But the road that we were traveling down, I'm sorry, guys, I've really been looking into this myself. I'm not an expert by any chance. I really don't. I'm really not. The economy is kind of like its own entity in a sense. And we just kind of, even that's what a business is just an entity that we support, really. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but at the same time, there's nothing that we haven't. Well, there's some things we haven't been through. There hasn't been a biblical flood lately, or the reverse of the magnetic poles in quite a while, or extreme solar flares and things like that. But which is we have to rebuild our infrastructure. We have to be what I mean. This insane push for electric cars is a bunch of BS. Yep. I don't support that at all. I don't think we have the infrastructure for it. And if we were going to go completely solar, that stuff is also not good for your environment. All the things we dig out, the African children and the sending of that, through all these different markets before it comes here. And then you're trying to recycle it and all the energy you use to recycle it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff involved that we've been pushed down a certain path. I think there's alternatives that need to be. I think a lot of it's been suppressed. That's some interesting stuff that we could get into. A lot of suppressed technology, but it's just enjoy the show, guys. Hug your family, love your neighbor, all the stuff I always try to tell you guys, and let's keep moving. What are we gonna do?
Make dire wolves.
That's what we're gonna do. Make dire wolves. So, with that, I think this is a good episode. I think it kind of turned into like some really interesting stuff. We were like, we're just gonna kind of touch on the Pope and this and that and the other. We got into the economy and Trump. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me excited.
We didn't get to cover the Tic Tac, but hey, Jeremy Corbell has a Tic Tac video out there. It's pretty neat. Go look it up.
Yep. All right, Jim. Jim, tell us where we can find you, Jim. I know this is your channel,
well,
but go.
Do we want to have our closing thoughts before we do the promotion?
Sure, let's do some closing thoughts. Go. You go first, Jimbo.
Sure. I will just say that, as far as all this stuff goes, the whole reason why I just wanted to do like generally current topics and all that is it's been a lot in a very short period of time. And I find the timing of everything and the particular subjects that they touch to be very interesting. And so I'll just say, looks like, I don't know, crazy stuff's going on. Days of Noah, maybe. Don't know. But there's nothing new under the sun. So live your life. Love your neighbors, love your family. Come hang out with us. Love you. Next.
You're pointing at Jim again.
No, I'm pointing at you.
No, you're pointing at Jim.
You're pointing at me. No. Here, I got this. Wait, hold on. You.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
On my screen, I'm pointing at him. All right, whatever.
Your screen's inverted.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all my stuff is backwards. Dude. How do I uninvert my screen? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and talk tech talk here a little bit, because I've been trying to put up the Eye of Jupiter behind me for a while, but every time I put it up there, it's backwards. So
press settings.
Go to settings and uninvert my screen. All right, I'll do that right after the
here.
Show.
Camera. All right, go to camera.
Yeah.
Mirror my camera.
Mirror my camera. Okay. Unclick it.
Yep.
There you go.
Hey, that's got to be a PC thing.
Oh my god! Is this right now? Oh, there it is.
That's me.
There you go. That way.
That's magic.
That's
why all my stuff has been backwards on my shit. Oh my god.
So my closing thoughts are that probably Tom has a PC.
So do I.
I'm sorry.
No, I love you too, buddy. No worries.
Okay.
So, in the broad spectrum of things, I mean, I have to look at things with patterns. I really do. So, 2020, we had a lot of craziness going on too. One right after another, boom, 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 cycle. And now we have 5 years later, another cycle of interesting phenomena going on. a lot of very interesting experiences. And so at this point, we can pretty much guess that you at somewhere along the line, once this cycle is completed, and at another certain point, and either a 2, 3, or 5 year history, probably we're going to have more craziness going on one after another.
Mm.
Why are the things becoming headlines right now that are coming headlines right now, and why are they interesting? Um, I think part of it, honestly, personal opinion, is a lot of hype. But I also think there's important key factors involved with some of it too. But we have to remember that when we hype things up, I mean, it's it's very well known that we as people love to get excited these days about everything.
Mm.
And I mean, there's a reason why the Titanic is still a popular show, a story. It's like years later, we're still watching the sinking ship, even though we know how the movie ends.
And he
And
could have
we,
fit on that door.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. And the bottom line is uh, we love watching a disaster unfold. So
Mm.
some of it, I believe, is our own creation. Some of it, I think, is actual, steps that we're taking that could lead to very disastrous ends if we're not careful. Um, do I believe in prophecy? Yes, I believe in prophecy. But do I believe that like every single thing is being interpreted correctly? No, I do not. I think there's, again, a tendency for us to hype up things and believe that what we are seeing is what we interpret that we're seeing is
Mhm.
truth, just because it's our perspective on it.
Mm.
I see it as an analogy. I'm going to use it as a shock rock analogy. It's like it seems that it's ramping up, but it's just the Beatles of the 60s, the Alice Cooper of the 70s, the Kiss of the 80s, and the Marilyn Manson of the 90s. It just gets more shocking, supposedly, but in the end, it's just the same thing. It's
Right.
been this way forever. It's been this way forever, guys.
Yeah.
You can go back as far as you want. There's always been something. You can go back. Let's just go back. Okay. The Roaring Twenties. Okay. Before that, what do we have? Okay. We'll go from the Titanic. Wow. Oh my God. World War One. Ah. Oh my God. The Roaring Twenties. Ah. Then we went. Boom. Depression. Boom. World War Two. Boom. Roswell incident. Boom. Kennedy. Boom. Martin Luther King, Malcolm Evans, Malcolm X, Edgar Rivers. I can't think of his name right now. The other guy. We go in the 70s. We have Nixon. We have it's the same thing. It's just that we have more connection to it. We are not meant to get all this information into our heads at one time. Watch our channels, but turn the rest of it off.
Yeah.
Because your diet is not only what you eat and what you drink. Your diet is all of it. Okay? Get good with yourself. Realize for what it is. It's a show. It's meant to be this way. It's meant to shock you. But in the end, it's not shocking. It's what we are as a species. And hopefully one day we'll wake up and realize that we're much more than that. That's all. That's my point.
Nothing new under the sun. Good point.
We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Goddamn, Jim. We do say, sorry to use the Lord's name in vain, but I don't mean it that way. God is such a messed up word sometimes, but that's not what I mean.
You're fine.
Sorry, Jim. All respect.
I'm a welder. I've heard way worse. You're good.
Yeah, dude. That's my perspective. It's just shock rock.
Right. All right. Well, on that note, guys, catch me every Saturday at 8:30 Central. Look me up on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Rumbles, the Spotify's, the Patreon. Patreon is $1. Make you holla. Awesome extra content there. And yeah, that's my stuff. magic?
You can find all things magical on magicaljourney.com, where I'm also working on revamping right now. So I've added the blog back in, but I'm doing something different with that now. So go check it out. Um, you can also find my Patreon listed on there as well. There's some things that I'm going to be adding on there to the paid side or side of that from not only Centrator Hill and from Austin to go along with their interviews, but I'm going to be adding some kind of interesting things that's going to go along with what Austin is doing right now that is not from Austin, but from a source connected to the properties that's going to be on
Ooh.
his season 1. So there's something to check out. Obviously, you can find me on Magical Journey on podcast on YouTube. And if you look in that website, you will see Magical Journey Facebook group. Also, another great place to find information. I've got people posting some incredible links right now to videos that will lead you down many rabbit holes.
Very
So
nice.
the Eye of Jupiter podcast, you can catch me live every Friday at 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. I release a show at 3:30 my time, which at the moment is Mountain Time. So you can catch me. That's on every Tuesday. Always have very interesting guests on. It's been quite the guest get at the moment. It's been quite interesting. The people who've been in contact with me and that I've getting in contact with, they enjoy it. They feel comfortable talking to me. So we get into everything, guys. It's all over the board, all over the map. We talk about psychedelics. We talk about monsters and paranormal, everything above. You can find me on Facebook at the Eye of Jupiter. I also have many people that are posting very interesting articles, posting their podcasts as well. You know, if you guys ever check that out. For me, it's just I'm just a portal for everything and everyone. I support all my buddies' channels. You can go ahead and become a member over on YouTube and get some interesting stuff early. Like I said, I have some very cool stuff up there at the moment. This Tuesday, I will be releasing an episode with the Arizona 4 with Kevin Keeney. He comes on and it's very interesting, guys. I just had his buddy on last night. What's his name? What's the guys I had on last night? So many people
Arizona 4 guy.
Arizona 4 guy as well. My buddy. I can't think of his name right now. So Kevin. There's so many to remember, Magic. Tell me if you can remember better than I do, or who I've actually had on my podcast. You let me know. I have some interesting shows coming up. Instagram, I'm still a little fuzzy over there. Chris Kramer, thank you, Pamela. I had Chris Kramer on last night, and we get to see Kevin's perspective on it. There's a very shocking thing that happens during one of their investigations that is almost too good to believe. So you can go over to membership now and get that a couple days early, and you will also see many other interesting, incredible interviews I've had. I had on the Meta Product with Tim Hudson, or Trey Hudson. Just amazing things that are coming up on the show. It's expanding, it's growing. Please do me a favor and support these two gentlemen's podcasts as well. They're on the up and coming. We try to get them over 500 so they can start getting their stuff. I think you guys are in your high 300s now, like 380s and 390s, right?
Yeah, I'm getting close to halfway to my watch hours. So
that's cool.
So y'all watch the heck out of my stuff, okay?
Yeah, dude. And if you by supporting those guys' channel, you're supporting my channel as well as everybody who's involved with us, all of our wonderful, our
community.
Yeah, our community, the people who help us out are
right.
What do they call it? What does Pam do for us again? What does she do for our moderators? Everything.
She literally does everything.
She is the engine behind our 3 channels, as well as many others. Without Pam, we wouldn't be as far along as we are, and we love you, Pam. But we have all our wonderful moderators. They've been amazing, and it's been incredible. I'm at 1,300 subscribers at the moment, and it's my shorts are doing very well. And I love each and every one of you, and thank you all for your support. And go check out the Eye of Jupiter and give me a thumbs up and tell me what you think.
Well, guys, this was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And shout out to all the troopers out there in chat that has been with us for 2.5 hours. You guys are the real heroes. That's right. So on that note, I'm just gonna say, tookie tookie. Love you. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Bye-bye. Is it working?
Nope.
Okay.
You
I'll just do this
failed.
one then.
How it's supposed to